right, everybody. Unhappy Friday, as unhappy as a Friday can actually possibly be. Coming to you live from the 215 to the 513. This is Unhappy and the MP, powered by Green Legion Radio and part of the Green Legion Radio family. We thank you, as always, for joining us from wherever you may be, whatever device you're using. And tonight it is only YouTube and Twitter. X. For some reason, Facebook is giving us trouble again. I've already reached out to Samantha. She's not going to bother with it tonight. She's going to take a look at it next week. So kind of is what it is. But those are your options tonight, folks. We always try to press the YouTube thing, but wherever you can catch us. So pull up a chair, turn up the volume. And I don't know if you need to do that because as the night goes on, I am going to get louder. Use the company dime if, God forbid, you're still stuck at work at this hour on a Friday. Crack open a cold one if you care to join me. And let's try to have some fun as we put an end to this week's hostage situation and ring in another almighty weekend. And let me give you just a little insight to my seventh circle of hell come tomorrow. My daughter having her birthday party tomorrow, right? So that'll be fun. There'll be 6 or 7, 8, including her 12 or 13-year-old girls running around my tiny little house here. Let's double down on that with the fact that this is also the Saturday where my wife has concert tickets with my middle. So at about 4:30, they're going to leave, which is going to leave me here with my daughter and the 3 friends that she is having sleep over. Yeah. So that futon right there, I will be sitting right there, likely watching some sort of sports on a couple of TVs and playing Red Dead Redemption with my headset on and trying to block out all the giggle box noise. So that is going to be my Saturday. But as for tonight, it's been a little bit of a rough week. So we're going to throw a few back. I'm just about done with my first one. I've got 3 more in the fridge there and about 13 more out in the garage. So I am going to be feeling no fucking pain in a little while. Who do we got in the room so far? Lou Mancini. Fucking A. Construction. This is your dad. Go Birds. See you in Nashville week 2. Yep. We will be talking schedule. That's the theme of the show tonight. Grady Gilmore, that is the America's newest defender. Hey. So happy I'm 9 hours away because he knows I'm drinking. And here's Keenan. Hey, everyone. It's a happy Friday. All right. So, yeah, theme is going to be the schedule. Mason, how the hell are you?
Doing good. I'm doing good. It was a long week. Whenever you don't do the show in the middle of the week, it kind of drags on and, it just kind of anchors on to Friday. It ends up being the show. But, man, do we have a lot of talk about the NFL. I don't know if anybody has the NFL Network on their TV, but the NFL Network and Comcast didn't renew their contract. And so you couldn't actually watch the NFL Network yesterday. And so me and my dad had to go ahead and find on the app. But nonetheless, seems to be a lot of going back and forth. There seems to be consensus about the record, but I do look forward to controversy if there is one.
Yeah, the consensus seems to be 11-6, 12-5. You want to look at it and be like, 17-0, right? We're just going to run the gauntlet, right? But let's be honest here. But the general consensus is 11-6 to 12-5 with a high water mark of obviously your 14-3 or 15-2 monster season, but.
Yes.
Right around 11-6 or 12-5 is the general consensus with an assumed, another division win is kind of the general theme across people who are actually not lunatics and think we're just going to rip the head off of everyone all year long. Don't get me wrong. I'm here for it. Just not likely to happen, right? Like we gotta be honest with ourselves. All right, let me get to the sponsorship and stuff, and then we will get off and rolling here. We are going to put the link up for anyone in the room who wants to jump in and give their thoughts as well. So hang on for that for just a couple of minutes. But before we get to that, everyone, and it is Michelle's favorite part of the show, although she just ran out with my two other children. We are proudly sponsored by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia. Just minutes away from the sports complex, Cheerleaders brings you the area's most beautiful women on 5 different stages. Open 7 days a week from noon until 2 a.m. and until 4 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Offering free parking, a full menu, daily drink and food specials, and a premium selection of cigars and a cigar lounge. I'd like to tell you you could go and catch your Sixers or your Flyers, but that's just not going to happen. But if you don't feel like heading over to the bank for the fills and you still want to get out, why not head over to Cheerleaders and enjoy the 75-foot HD TV wall, as well as HD TV screens throughout the entire club. Once again, folks, Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, 2740 South Front Street in Philly. Call 215-467-1980 for all of your group and party information. Folks, bottom of your screen, as we talk about every week, scrolling along the bottom, greenlegion.com. The schedule is out. Meaning if you did not hop on your early bird, tough shit. That ship has sailed. So you'll be able to put deposits in again here. I don't know if that's available right now. If it's not, it will be soon. I know the staff is working incredibly hard to put the finishing touches on all of the trips. As you can imagine, it's a lot to handle. As you can imagine from what you see from the schedule, it's an extra bit to handle considering some of the dates that we actually have, that our birds actually have to play on this year. Keep in mind that is Thanksgiving in Dallas. That is Christmas Eve. It's London. There is a lot going on, folks. That is, that's San Francisco on New Year's weekend. That's a lot of logistics and planning that takes a lot of effort. So I know they are working very hard, diligently, as they always do, to make these things as awesome as possible for you. So if you haven't signed on yet, hang on. It'll be ready for you. Those details will be out as soon as humanly possible. And then, by all means, at that point, book it. Don't wait. At this point, the schedule's out, so everyone knows when we're going to be playing these games. We already knew the where. Now we know the when. So if you think there's a trip you'd like to go on, don't hesitate. Now that those dates are out, they are going to fill up. There are some great destinations on our schedule. Obviously, London, right? Week 5 in London. I would jump on that quickly if it's something you want to do. That will fill fast. There's a ton of people who I would love to go over. I'm not going to be able to pull it off. Nashville, week 2. Okay, that's September 20th. I don't know how many of you people have spent a whole bunch of time in the Nashville area. I not only have vacationed there a number of times, I also lived in that area for 3 years. I can tell you the middle of September is a damn fine time to head to Nashville. The weather is usually fan-fucking-tastic that time of year. We'll keep our fingers crossed that remains that way. Even though it's late in the year and it's going to be cold, it's still San Francisco. There's still vineyards to go see. There's Alcatraz. Chicago on a Monday night. Chicago always offers a good time. Jump on it. If these are trips you want to go on, get on it. Arizona, the early December. Talk about great weather in Arizona where it's not oppressively hot. You're talking about 80, 85 degrees every day. A great time to go out to Arizona. So these things are going to fill up, folks, and I don't want you to miss out. So jump on it. If you want to come hang with me and Michelle and Mason's dad, jump on that Nashville trip. That's where we will be. So hop on it as soon as that becomes available. Mason's going to come along. Oh, shit. That'll be a hell of a fucking pregame show. We'll see with that, though. It depends on if Quimby goes. If Quimby doesn't go, he'll do the pregame show from the Parrot Lounge down in Miami. Okay. But Nashville, I mean, why wouldn't you go to Nashville, especially that time of the year? So we will see. But, yeah, it's the middle of May, folks. You're talking about some of these games are only 4 months away. It's that quick. I'll never wish away the summer. But, man, when August comes, I start really getting the itch for that season to start. Promise you that. So there you go. There's your stuff. Quick boner of the week. I don't know if anybody saw the video of Kevin Patullo. Anybody happen to see this idiot talking about his time in Philadelphia and how he was, an integral part of building said culture within the locker room and wherever else? Have you seen any of this?
I'm not
No?
familiar.
You've not seen it? Yeah. So look that up. I will award him the boner of the week as if we didn't already give him that like 6 times last year. Yeah, I highly encourage you to go find that video and listen. And he says it with a straight face. Captain Demps pointed that out. He's like, dude, he says it with a straight face. I'm like, well, that makes him an Olympic caliber butthole. Just a douchebag of the highest order. So that's your boner of the week. I know some of these folks know what the hell I'm talking about here. Grady says he died to me the day he was fired. We got a couple of folks throwing up. So Keenan says, Grady, what up, soldier? Lou Mancini, fist bump to Grady. And Keenan says, as always, 13-4. That's his prediction for the Birds this year. Lou Mancini, Dogwood Parade tomorrow. I have a little thing with my friends at our house for that. Let's see if I can not pass out early. It's not me, it's the tequila. Nice. David Loeb in the room, 11 wins. What do you think? That's where the consensus it has been so far, David, is the 11 to 12 wins it seems to be the general consensus, and I agree with it. We're going to get into the schedule here in a minute and talk about some of these things. But, yeah, I am not – I'll be honest with you. I'm not overly thrilled with the schedule itself. I'm just – overall, I don't like it. So, I mean, fuck it. We'll just get right into it here. Obviously, nobody gives a shit about the preseason. I mean so – and here's the part that bothers me the most about the schedule, and it's a little bit selfish, all right? I run this group out here, Midwest Eagles Nest. And so when you're not in Philadelphia and, you're not able to just go to a Green Legion tailgate every time they're home and, you can just go get tickets and go to the game and whatever else. You're reliant on people's availability to get together to just watch the game together, right? Because you're 700 miles away from Philly. When the NFL schedule makers put us on Thanksgiving, that makes it virtually impossible for me to get people together. All right. Because everybody's doing shit with their family. Now, look, from a fan standpoint, the tradition of the Dallas home game on Thanksgiving, us being able to go there and embarrass them on their home turf for that game, I love it. It's fantastic. There we go. All right. From a group standpoint, it absolutely sucks because I lose that game. I'm not even going to bother. 4:30 on a 4:25 on Thanksgiving. Nobody's coming out. It's just not going to happen. So, and that's one of our bigger turnouts is Dallas game. Double down on that with the fact that they took the other Dallas game and put us on Monday night. Also difficult to get people together on a work night. All right. So my two biggest turnouts every regular season are against the Cowboys. And those both, one of them's gone altogether. The other one takes a big hit being on Monday night. I'll still get a good amount of people, but if that's a Sunday 4:00 game, I've got 150 to 200 people nailed in, no question. Monday night, I don't know what to make of it. And then you take another game and you put it on Christmas Eve at 8:15. Yeah. Nobody's coming out, right? I lose that one too, right? And then there's the London game. Now, thankfully, we have a workaround for that. We're going to do breakfast with the Birds. So we're going to take our signups and have those folks show up to the bar at 8:30 in the morning, start serving mimosas and Bloody Marys, make a little Philly breakfast. We're going to get some scrapple and pork roll and do it right. And then the doors will open to the public as normal at noon. And by that point, all of us will have been there for like 4 hours and we'll be completely shithoused and it'll be hysterical. But from a group perspective, this schedule is very, very challenging. I do love the London thing for the Green Legion. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I absolutely love that for the Green Legion. I have to imagine that game on Thanksgiving and on Christmas Eve is going to present some challenges as far as, people going on the trip. So the Christmas game, Christmas Eve is home. Thursday night, it's a home game against the Texans. So you just that's not as big a deal. The Thanksgiving one is on the road in Dallas, and that's going to be challenging. I'm sure there's plenty of folks that'll be able to make the trip. I know that's going to present challenges, though. Obviously, London's a great thing for the Green Legion. I absolutely love that. But, yeah, I just kind of wanted to get that off my chest because it pissed me off. Like, you're taking two of my biggest money makers and wiping one of them out and putting another one on Monday night. I'm like, son of a bitch. Why do you hate me? But here we are. Week 6 bye is about to be brutal. Our bye week is not week 6. And there is my biggest bone to pick. I disagree. Now, I don't want it early, but I don't like that we don't have the bye after traveling to fucking London. That is 7-hour time difference. That jet lag from that. We come home and play the Panthers at 1:00 the following week. Having a bye week on week 10 is great for the longevity of the season. Not having a bye week after going to London sucks. I just assumed when it said week 5 in London that week 6 would be our bye, but it's not. It's week 10. So that's going to be challenging too. I'm hoping they're not wiped out tired coming back from that. They very well could be. Man City, with great power comes great responsibility. Dad says pork roll, baby. Yes, sir. Taylor, pork roll. Gotta have it. And I can get it at the local international. There's a huge market out here called Jungle Gyms, and they've been around forever. People come from all over the world to go to this place, and they have it at their deli. Taylor pork roll. So I just got to go there and get it sliced thin for the breakfast stuff. But you can get it sliced however you want and just throw it on fucking sandwiches. It's fantastic. Mason playing teller to your Jesus. All right. So right out of the gates, and we'll run through a couple of these games here, and then we're gonna put the link up for other folks to join in. But right out of the gates, Sunday, September 13th, 4:25 at home, opening the year against the Commodes. Another year where we're playing a division rival very early, first week of the season. You and I talked briefly before the show about Jaden Daniels having something to prove, and he gets an opportunity to do that immediately, week 1.
Yes.
I think this is going to be a charged up Eagles team coming out of the gates, and we're home on a Fox National game, first week of the year. I don't like the Commodes' chances in that game, but I am interested to see how Jaden Daniels reacts coming out of the gates. I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive than people want to admit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you want to go rattle down the whole schedule, if you want to go game by game, but at least for week 1, I don't really think it's that much of a contest, to be completely honest with you. I do think that Washington could be a little bit of a sleeper. We were talking before the show that the Giants are almost like a perennial sleeper. They keep on developing, they keep on getting better, but as they get better, their schedule just gets more and more screwed. And so it hurts them in that sense. But yeah, I see an easy week 1, and I'm not sure how you want to kind of progress through the rest of the schedule.
I mean, we don't have to focus on every single game. Division stuff is, I mean, look, when you talk week 2 at the Titans, right? I mean, look, do I think the Titans could be a sleeper team? I don't know if I completely agree with you on week 1 against the Commodes. I think there's a chance that the game's more competitive than people want to admit. I'm not saying Washington comes in and beats us. I'm not saying that. But I don't think we're blowing them out. And
No,
generally speaking, the
yeah.
first 4 weeks of the year, yeah. Week 2, you're at the Titans. Look, I think Cam Ward's a nice kid. He had a nice second half to last year. I expect him to take another leap forward this year. He did add, they did add the wide receiver. So they still stink. Like they still can't run the ball. Their offensive line still needs help. Their defense still needs help. This is an Eagles team that is still in its championship window, that is significantly more talented pretty much across the board. I think the only contest that weekend is, can we replicate as a fan base what we did 8 years ago down there? And that is, we drank the entire district from Fifth Ave to the river and one street either way off of Broadway. We drank them completely out of Miller Lite that weekend.
Really?
What was happening was the beer distributors were pulling up to make their deliveries behind the bars. They were taking the cases of beer and going straight to the bar with them because there was no fucking Miller Lite left. We drank it all of it. And from what I understand, I think we also drank all of the Yingling too. So I think that's the bigger contest. I think that's the bigger challenge is, can we replicate that? Right? I don't think the challenge. Now, we did lose that game. That was Carson's first game back in 2018. We took a 17-3 lead into the half and lost that game on the final play in overtime. That was a disappointing result. I do not expect that shit to happen again. Again, my thoughts are the bigger contest is, can we outdo what we did 8 years ago as a fan base rather than do the Titans actually stand a chance there? I don't know what your thoughts are. You're coming down to Nashville for that one?
Oh yeah, I'll be in Nashville. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna like the Commanders a little bit. I don't think it's gonna be that. It's gonna be less competitive than the Washington game. Listen, say what you want about Cam Ward. He had a lot of flashes at the end of last season. Give him Cornell Tate. Give him a year, an off season of further development and maturity, all that kind of stuff. They're building around a young quarterback, but I don't predict this is going to be a 2016 to 2017 Eagles type of thing. I think that they are going to progress normally as young quarterbacks do. And so, listen, I hope that Cam Ward does well, just not against us. And so I think we'll handle them pretty soundly.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. I really don't. They're just not that good. They're just not. They're getting better. I get it.
They don't
they're just not that good.
Spectacular roster. No. So.
Yeah. I just got a message from Quimby. I asked him and Steph earlier if they wanted to pop in or if they wanted me to divulge anything on here. And basically, all we're doing right now is basically what I said when I talked about the Green Legion is, it's coming soon, folks. And rest assured, every single trip is going to be packed with extra bells and whistles. So hang on to your hats. It's coming, everybody. I absolutely promise. And it always does. And joining us for the first time from his new home, America's newest defender. There he is. Private first class, private alpaca. No more alpaca head. There he is.
No, it's going. What's up?
What's up, kid? How you doing? Grady,
I'm doing all right.
Private Gilmore.
Okay. I don't know that enough. What's going on?
So Grady, I've been telling the folks here pretty much updates on you as they come, right? As something changes, I tell them what's going on. But why not just hear it from the horse's mouth? How's everything going there? I know you're at Fort Bragg now. Is it still called Fort Bragg or is it called Fort Liberty?
I don't know. I'm going to call it the first one.
So Fort Bragg it is.
Yeah.
So finally at his permanent home, this will be his home for the next 3.5 years, right where he's sitting right now. Roughly, give or take, right? Anything can change. It is the Army, but
Could be more, but
Right. There's also that, if he signs another contract at the end of this one, he can just stay there for another 4 years, whatever the case may be. But so that's your duty station now. Got your job assignment. Started that yesterday. And so how's everything going, bud?
I'm chilling. I mean, I'm just kind of getting acclimated, learning how to like operate things, the machines and all that.
Working in the print shop?
Print shop.
So what is it they've got you doing there?
So I'm just learning how to like operate the printers and then cut the paper. It's not very interesting stuff.
No, but what you're printing is interesting stuff, right?
Yeah. It's just like change of command stuff. Like when one commander takes over for another one, print out little books for that. Like just command photos, so pictures of the people. And that's pretty much it. And then the rest of the time I'm sitting in a room dicking off on my phone, as does everyone else.
Hey, you might not want to broadcast that. People's tax dollars are paying what you're paying you here, man.
Oh, sure, yeah, because they're tax dollars are paying everything that you're seeing right here. It's good. I like it.
It's good. You like it. So you're 9 to 4:30. It said, and an hour or so lunch.
Okay. Hour and a half
lunch. Hour and a half lunch. And tell me about this once a month 4-day weekend thing.
Yeah. So I'm not in a regular unit. It's like special forces support. So I get extra privileges, all the things. 4-day weekend, at least once a month. This weekend is twice. This month it's twice a month because Memorial Day. Yeah. So we had the other one was just like I think it was right before I got here, if I'm not mistaken, because Mother's Day. But
moms are important.
Yes.
So do you have that schedule for June, July, August, all that stuff? Do you know what it is?
I didn't take a picture of it. No, I was literally there. Okay. We got there at 9, and then they had us clean until 10:30, and then we walked over to like a barracks barbecue at 11, and then that was the end of my day.
I mean,
I was back. I was changed into this by noon.
Well, good for you, man.
It was good.
For you. So, have you had a chance to look? And Grady, how rude of me. You've not met Mason before. Mason, this is my son, Grady. He's my oldest. He'll be 19 in a couple of weeks. Grady, this is Mason. We met him in Minneapolis. And, Quimby and I talked to him and decided to make him part of Green Legion Radio. So
nice. Good for you.
Your introduction.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for your service, buddy.
Thanks for your support.
So, have you had a chance to look at the schedule?
I have last night because Peyton's a Cowboys fan, so I had to.
You tell him we're coming this shit all over his Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, actually, him and his dad were trying to go to that game, and they had tickets secured. And then his mom was like, "You're not going to miss Thanksgiving to go watch football." And much to his dad's dismay, much to Carl May's dismay, there.
So the one thing I would say about that, and Mason, let me know if you agree with me here. The one thing I would say about that is I get it, especially from a mom standpoint. You want your family home, Thanksgiving and everything. But, if you're a Dallas fan and you're able to go to the Cowboys Thanksgiving game, regardless of who it's against, that's a big tradition in the NFL. It's been that way for a long time. So, I don't know, man. I think I side with Peyton and his dad. Like, this is a big deal. Forget about it just being against the Birds. Like, that's pretty awesome,
It is, yeah.
I do think that there's a certain element of sentimentality there. I for every single team, they have a home game that has a certain aesthetic. But as much as we want to, hate on the Cowboys, all that kind of stuff, there is something about Jerry's World. And if the away game to Dallas was any day other than Thanksgiving, I would strongly consider going to that game as well. Strongly consider.
Right.
Jerry's World is one of those stadiums. Listen, is it the newest built stadium? No, it's not. But is it almost as good as any other stadium? Yeah, it is. It was that well engineered. It was that well, architectured, built, all that kind of stuff. It's a palace, and so it's a palace that Jerry built. It's very impressive, so I'd love to go see it. But you take that element and then you pair it with Thanksgiving. Football and Thanksgiving. We all know the deal with the devil that the Detroit made to get the game on Thanksgiving. We don't talk about that, but it's listen. Sometimes if mom step in and give you that veto, then you got to relent.
Yeah. So, Grady, the general consensus across the board here from pretty much everyone who I've talked to has looked at the schedule, all this stuff, Mason and myself included. We look at this year, look at the schedule, and you just kind of immediately think 11 to 12 wins. That the general kind of consensus across the board from people who aren't fucking lunatics, right? People who actually look at it and be honest with themselves, right? Like, would we like to come out and win 17 games? Of course, but to think that's going to happen is a little outlandish. I do think 11 to 12. Look, do I think the high water mark is 14 to 15 wins? Yeah, I do. I think it's possible. But I think the more likely is your 11 to 12 wins, and I think that includes the division title.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 13-4 personally.
And he backs up Keenan with 13-4.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't see more than 4 losses on that schedule. I don't. I mean, I guess 2 of them could be if we split with Dallas and Washington. And then I think that's going to happen. I think Washington's going to take 1. Dallas is probably going to take 1. And then the Giants might take
rule.
1. Do we have a later game in the season against the Giants, right?
Last game's away.
Last game of the year, yeah.
Yeah, so that if that game doesn't mean anything, then that's going to be a drop to the Giants.
Yeah, that's
fair. Very true.
That's where I see it. 11 to 12 is probably more likely, but I'm always kind of aggressive, so I need 13.
I wonder where you learned that from.
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure everyone would be so shocked. So, yeah, I worry. I'm going to tell you one that really worries me, and
right.
So let's do that. So Grady thinks maybe we split. And Grady knows this. I usually just assume division split. I just assume it.
Right.
And right. There's my 3 losses. Just right off the rip. Right off the rip, we're 3-3. And then let me look at the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I feel comfortable just saying that and then moving on. I'm going to tell you one that scares me, and then I'm going to tell you why. And it's early in the year. I don't like the Rams game at all.
I never liked
really don't like the Rams game. And I'm gonna tell you why. One, we have ripped them apart for a few years now. They've been a very good team, and they have not been able to shake a stick at us. Okay, and the biggest reasons for that, obviously, Saquon has had his monster games. I was in LA a couple of years ago when he went bananas for 303 total yards and 2 touchdowns. That was insane. But the biggest reason is the fact that they have not had good play from their corners. And A.J. Brown, since he's put on an Eagles uniform, has devoured the Rams. He has absolutely owned them. Go back to even as early as last year when we were down at halftime. A.J. Brown, Jalen to A.J. is the reason why we come back and win that game, right?
Yeah.
He has eaten them up, and they have struggled at corner. This offseason has flipped those things completely on their head. We are about to trade A.J. Brown in a couple of weeks here, and the Rams went out and got McDuffie, who is a proven NFL stud corner. They're not taking a risk with a rookie from the draft. They went out and traded for a proven NFL commodity. That's the biggest reason why I don't like that game. Because that clear-cut advantage that we've had for 4 years, he's gone. Entirely gone.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that sentiment. I honestly think that when you get to when you're on that plane leaving for London, the floor is 2-2. I don't see us going 4-0 into London. I think that the Bears game is gonna take a lot from us to win. And then the very next week, you're hosting, but you still have the Rams. And listen, we didn't dominate the Rams last year,
and that's on a short week.
Why is he in the
short
window?
week?
Okay.
Short week. We didn't dominate the Rams last year. All right, we came back and won that game. If it wasn't for Jordan Davis, we had the block and he returned it for a touchdown. If we don't have that, we lose against the Rams at home last year with AJ Brown. And so I think that, listen, the only reason why you're 2-2 going into London is because you just surrender the Chicago game to focus on LA, and then you lose both. I think what you want to do here, I think you want to put all your eggs. You have to win at least one of these. So I think that you want to take Chicago as much as you can, and then listen. It sucks to just kind of surrender, quote unquote, a home game. But if you're just going to surrender Chicago, you really got to win LA. But I don't think you're going to win both of them.
And I think the Bears game, and then Grady, I want to hear from you. That Bears game, we've got the axe to grind because they came in to our house on Black Friday and absolutely freaking embarrassed us with that pansy ass fingernail painting quarterback of theirs. And it pissed me off something awful. And we've got the axe to grind. And now we get to go to Soldier Field on a Monday night and try to return the favor. I agree with you. I don't think we're 4-0. I think we have to be 2-0 going into the Bears game.
Oh, yeah.
Grady?
Yeah, I can't stand Chicago. Well, mostly because I have a buddy that's a Bears fan, and he makes Dad, my buddy Max, and he, you know what? That's a little aggressive. I can't stand the way he views the Bears because the second Caleb Williams looked like he knew how to play football, it was like the Bears are the greatest football team ever. And thank you, appreciate that. And I like the Bears. I like Caleb Williams. I hate the Bears. I just don't like Chicago sports because it's sad and it makes me want to not watch anything. The White Sox are sad. The Bulls are just really sad. And then the Bears are – the Cubs are the only good thing in that city. I hate Chicago, and then there we go.
Good for you. All right.
Someone clip that.
I'll be here all night.
In case there were any questions of whether or not he's my son, I think we just answered those, right? Well, everything he just said about Chicago is how I feel about Boston. So
Boston's a whole different story. We can talk about that later.
Boston.
We can talk about that later. Put a pin in there.
Boston's a great city to go have fun in. Everything about their sports can kiss my gooch. So we go Nixon 6. So we covered the Bears. What are your thoughts on the Rams game, Grady? Because Mason and I are kind of on the same page there. That one's a problem for sure.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it, dude.
I mean, we've owned this city of Los Angeles for a few years now, and I really think eventually there's a point there, and Matthew Stafford is not he's played good every time, or at least played decent every time we've played them, and eventually that's just the fact that he's a good quarterback and the Rams are a good team. One of these times we're gonna play off, and then they're gonna beat us. And I think this is that time. If it keeps going and we beat them, I really hope we don't play the Rams in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say about that.
I echo that sentiment.
I think just to kind of butt in here a little bit, real quick. I think it's when we're looking at these games, it's really important to remember. This is a conversation me and my dad had last night, actually. So our defense I think you could argue it's improved. We've taken a significant, demotion in terms of safety, but across every other position, we've gotten better. Offense, I can't say that. Okay, offense, I think the only position we may have gotten better at is tight end number 2. That's it. Okay, yeah. We're about to trade away AJ Brown, and we have 10,000 slot receivers in the receiver room. Okay, that's a planning nightmare if you're Sean Mannion. And so I think it's really important to kind of remember going forward that we're going to go up against a lot of good defenses this year. And so it's really important to remember that we have the same receiver copied and pasted like 7 times. And so it's going to be a little bit restrictive of the offense. So I think that's a good thing to kind of keep in mind going forward.
Yeah, we don't have that big body guy, right? The only time we're really going to have a distinct advantage in that department is if we get down in the red zone. You're on the 5-yard line. You come out and line up with, Stowers and Goddard. And then you've got a couple of bigger dudes that can go and just go up and make a catch for you.
Right.
Losing A.J. Brown and coupled with the Rams obtaining McDuffie, it's a problem. It's a massive problem.
Right.
That's your first 4. I like it 3-1 coming out of that. I think we split the Bears and Rams. I think we lose to the Rams. I do. I think they're just pissed. Yeah. I think we're 3-0 going into the Rams and drop that one. That's just the way I feel about it.
I think
we go to London. What's up? Go.
The early season is going to be really telling, and I think it's going to take at least a few weeks to figure out the team's identity without AJ Brown, because for just both of the Super Bowl trips, it's been Jalen Hurts to AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts to AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts to AJ Brown. I think I have a hoodie in my room. It's like Hurts Brown something. You got it for me for Christmas one year.
Looks like a presidential thing.
Yeah, it's great. But now that that's gone, our receiver core is Devontae Smith and like a slew of 82 overalls in Madden. So I don't really know what we're gonna do with that. But I guess we'll find out.
Bro,
it's like we just said.
This kid.
I watched them. I watched them become a human.
It's like 76 overall.
Right.
Yeah. It's 78. I feel like we found medium there. It's
so
good.
what we're gonna end up doing is relying a lot on the Sean Mannion play calling and play design.
Yes.
Which we don't know what that looks like.
Well, but we do. We have somewhat of an idea what it looks like. He's very much from a McVay, Shanahan type of offense, right? A West Coast-ish type of thing, which is predicated on scheme, creating holes in the defense for Jalen to throw the ball into, rather than Jalen having to read routes that are crossing in the middle. This offense should free up a hole in the middle for him to put that ball into, and the receiver should be running into that hole to make that catch. It's a little different. It should help Jalen, provided Jalen dives in, which we don't know. Some of the shit we've heard during the offseason is not good. So we're going to have to wait and see on that.
Let's hope that this is a coordinator that doesn't just like calling 3rd and 8 QB draws the whole time. The amount of times I sat there frustrated or just like, it's 3rd and 12. Let's hand it off to Saquon Barkley. I'm just sitting there perplexed, staring at my phone, waiting to break something. And I don't know if I can do another year of that.
Everyone loves the 4 verticals call on 3rd and 2, but
that's my favorite. Yeah. AJ Brown, it's Saquon up the middle, AJ Brown deep ball, punt. That was the Eagles playbook.
That was the offense. Yeah. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so then we're going to head to London. Now, if we were heading over there to look, I used to say that we're heading, you got to go over there and play the Jaguars. The Jaguars were 13-4 last year, okay?
Yeah.
They're not a doormat anymore.
That weird looking guy.
Yeah. Now, I still think we're better. And although this is a Jags home game, and really they should have a home field advantage there because they're there every year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. I think it ends up being an Eagles crowd, first and foremost.
The British people like Philadelphia. Is that what you're leaning towards?
I think there's that, but I think the hordes of people coming from America to go over there are going to be all Eagle fans. All.
Yeah.
So I've got that one as a win, and here is my first axe to grind with the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that our bye week doesn't come right after the international game. Not that I want
to have a bye week. We're going up against Carolina the next week. It's kind of a bye week.
I get it, but Carolina was also a playoff team, right? So I don't like having a bye week 6. I think that's early. But, dude, that's a 7-hour time difference from here, from the East Coast to London. They're going to fly back after that game, and the jet lag is going to be tough. You're talking about a couple of days before they're really back to normal, more than likely. And then they have to practice and get ready for a Sunday 1:00 game. And I get it. Carolina's not great. Somebody had to be the tallest midget in the NFC South. I get it. But they still did make the playoffs last year. And we're going to be, I'm telling you, there could be a hangover with that makes me nervous. And remember the last time we played Carolina? That was not pretty either. So, and Carolina's only gotten better from there.
Yeah.
I still think we win. I don't think it's going to be the blowout that everyone is going to assume it's going to be.
I'm a big Bryce Young enthusiast, so I like to buy in. I like Bryce Young, and I always like short quarterbacks, and I don't know why. It's a weird thing I have, but I think he's continued to get better every season, and the Panthers have decided to say we're going to be a competent football team for once. It's nice that one organization in Carolina is deciding to do that, because the Hornets. But the Panthers, Bryce Young, and now he has like competent wide receivers, at least one of them. Tedorota McMillan, that guy's pretty good at football. So
yeah, I don't think either of them can match up against the corners that we have, though, dude. I do think Carolina's going to come in and have a tough time putting points on the board.
Right.
I am a little concerned of our offense being a little sluggish coming back from the London trip. That's my concern. Not the defense. It's the offense.
Short King is about to shred us. We're gonna take that Bryce Young.
I can't, dude. Enough with the midget quarterback, bro. The guy can't reach the Chris Fix. All right, him or Kyler Murray.
I'm taller than Bryce Young. Put that out there.
Right. Yeah. So let's just check that box, Mr. 5'9". Right.
He's 5'9". Okay.
All right. Whatever. Don't short you an inch. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. One makes a lot of the difference. It's a big difference.
I got it. All right. So that's your first. So that's you try to look at the schedule of like 4-game quads, right? So we did the first 4. Now we're halfway through the second 4. Mason, Jaguars, Panthers. You would think these should be victories. Jags were pretty good last year. Panthers were a surprise winning the division last year. We're coming home off of that London trip. Where do you see those 2 games shaking out?
So I kind of had a year first. So we agreed that in the first 4, we're going to split the Bears and the Rams. I had it the opposite way. I think we're going to beat Chicago, and I think we're going to lose against the Rams. I don't think we're going to beat the Rams. And no, I think we lose against Chicago, and we're going to beat the Rams. So.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. So, and then we go to London. A little bit of the time differential there, but I still do think we're going to pull that one out. I'm less scared of the time of the jet lag affecting us against the Panthers. I'm more concerned with the potential of a trap game of us paying more attention to or forecasting a little bit over to the next week hosting the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. I think our focus might be a little split there, so I think that's a little bit of a bigger concern. I think that more broadly, this season is going to be defined by the defense, not the offense. Kind of how it's been when we won the Super Bowl the first time in 24. We had the spectacular offense, but our defense was top 3, top 5. And I think
sorry, I had to piss.
Thanks, Dad.
We're going to need that again. We're going to need that again this year. Do I think we're going to get 64 sacks? No. But we had the best top 3 top 3 corners in the league, I think. The only gap we're missing on defense is the safety. We have linebackers, we have the rushers, so I'm not scared at all there. So I think that we're going to take care of Carolina just fine. So I don't see a reason why we don't go into Philadelphia week 7. Was it 6-1? Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's
I think
good.
that's a fair point. I think it's a fair point looking ahead to Dallas. I could see that. So we're going to get the Panthers at 1, then we don't play again until the following Monday night. So you're going to get some good rest there. I am not overly concerned with that Dallas game on week 7. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you.
Really?
I'm not.
Are we good? Did you freeze there, Dad?
I think he froze a little bit there.
We've lost my father.
We've lost your father.
He's gone.
He's gone. It's all right. I'll take over from here for a little bit. The Dallas game does scare me, actually. Not that I think that, they're this juggernaut, but listen, it's a divisional game. You never know with divisional games. You just never know. Be it with the Cowboys even. The Cowboys are no slouch, and so I think that optimistically we split with Dallas. I think there's a good chance that the worst case scenario, if the wheels really start to fall off, you might see a sweep by Dallas over us.
Really?
So if we're not really careful, yeah.
Oh, and there he goes.
There we go. We got it, Grady, me and you.
Okay, we can hold it down for a few minutes.
We can hold it down. So I think so. You're 6-1 going hosting Dallas on the 26th. Actually, the day before Mom's birthday. I do think we're gonna win this, but I don't think it's gonna be a given by any means.
Hang on, I'm texting my dad. He said everything just froze.
Uh-oh.
We have some technical difficulties at the Gilmore household.
Yeah, he just texted me and said trying to come back.
Okay. Well, we wait for Mr. Gilmore there to troubleshoot. Yeah, the Cowboys, they've gotten a lot better, like, progressively. Their defense, I'm still not really afraid of, but like Overshown's a good linebacker. I'll give them that. Yeah. Who else did they draft? I know they got Caleb Downs, right?
Yes. And they also got the edge in late first.
I know you're talking about. I think that's his name. It's something like that. But Caleb Downs, with the lack of, again, that's all going to be determined if Devontae Smith can finally take his opportunity and become that number 1 option for the first time since his rookie year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. Because like we said about the 78 overalls that we have in the wide receiver room, it literally we're replicating what the Packers are doing, but we have an actual receiver in there.
Right.
It's Devontae. It goes Devontae Smith, the other guys, and then
pretty much.
I think it's gonna be words are hard. Jalen's gonna have to rely a lot on Dallas Goedert and Stowers as a safety net, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be like my dad said about the McVay style offense, very West Coast, very. I think we're gonna see Jalen Hurts drop back a lot more than we're used to. Oh, he's returned. He's returned.
We had a Walt Disney.
But yeah, the Cowboys don't really. I think we will split with them, and I think Week 7 is actually the game we're going to lose. So
really, you'd like us to lose at home on Monday night to them, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna lose at home, and we're gonna beat them on Thanksgiving.
Damn.
So that's why. So that you see what he's after here, right, Mason? He wants to drop. He wants to say we're going to drop that one, so we go piss all over their Thanksgiving parade.
I don't know, man.
I'm not against it, Grady. I will tell you, I stand firm on it. I think we're rolling going into that game, right? I think we've gone to London, got that win. I think we've come back and maybe had to muscle through a win over Carolina. And then we get 8 days off. And we're home on almost 9 days off when you look at it. You're home on a Monday night against the team that's supposed to be your biggest threat in the division coming in this year. And I think the Eagles make a statement that night. That's my opinion of it. I think we're rolling.
I think the Cowboys have gotten significantly better over the past few seasons. And I think eventually we won the division. Is it 2 years in a row now?
2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't, you know how the NFC East works. A third is begging for, that's like asking God if he can bless us. I don't know if we can get a third. And I think Dallas is poised to finally give us real competition for it.
I don't.
As much as that hurts me to say. I like their defensive additions. I like their offense. I like how George Pickens got to Dallas and became like a functional human being. That's all very good. Of course, the number one wide receiver in that room. And then Dak Prescott being Dak Prescott in the regular season. I think
that's
that
the reason why I don't think they're a threat.
He'll win them games in the regular season, and then it's not like he plays quarterback. It's not like he plays bad in the playoffs either. In their playoff losses, he plays fine. It's just their defense literally. Look at his playoff stats. Pull them up.
Yeah,
you're going to look.
Time out. You're going to look at his overall stats, and you're not going to look at the first half when the game was in play, and he stinks. His overall numbers look great because he's had to play catch up in the second half because he's been dog shit in the first half. He's not a big game quarterback. This will be his 11th season. He is 2-5 in the playoffs. He is basically just in continuation of what they had with Tony Romo. He's the same fucking quarterback.
I see double-digit wins.
Romo had weapons too. Double-digit wins. I can see it. What, 10? That's about as far as I'm going.
10, 11 at most. I see 10, 11 wins for the Dallas Cowboys.
I see 12.
Really? 12?
Yeah.
I don't say I fully disagree. Yeah.
I really don't like either of you right now.
Look, just because it's the Cowboys, it could be more. But just because it's the Cowboys doesn't mean we're just going to be garbage forever. You know?
If the Cowboys weren't playing, if the Cowboys weren't playing Baltimore in Rio, things could be different.
They're gonna go to Rio and get fucking dog walked.
I think the Ravens are severely overrated.
Well, they're another one.
I don't think
they're great in the regular season.
Well.
Get them in the playoffs, they stink because Lamar is what? Not a big game quarterback. He's a more athletic Dak Prescott. That's what he is.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Is it?
That's ludicrous.
Is he really? Is it really that ridiculous to say?
Prescott has a much better arm than Lamar.
That's ridiculous.
No. Prescott is a better passer than Lamar. Lamar's a better athlete than Prescott. Period. That's the difference.
I'll give you that.
But they are like this when it comes to big games. They don't win playoff games, guys. They don't.
I think Lamar's more well-rounded.
Well, we're going to see what happens now without Harbaugh there.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to see a very different offensive approach. We're going to see Lamar air it out more instead of the ground-centric thing. Of course, the looming threat of the animal they keep in the backfield with him is going to be there. Because that dude, Father Time looks at him and he just kind of walks away. Because I don't know what Derrick Henry does to keep playing like this.
Russ Taylor. As long as Jerry Jones is there, the Cowboys will stay where they are.
I don't know. He's giving people money now, so he's paying football players. Which is, if I'm a Cowboys fan, that's a great thing to feel. That Jerry Jones is giving football players money.
I see. I look at it the other way. I wanted them to pay Micah Parsons. I told you this. I wanted them to pay Micah Parsons.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I did not want them getting draft capital because Dallas. What they have done is drafted pretty well. What they are not good at is getting these guys re-signed before it becomes a major cap and exposure issue, right? That's what they're not good at. But as far as drafting, Dak was a steal, third or fourth round, whatever the hell he was in.
Fourth.
You got CeeDee Lamb, great pick, right? Micah Parsons, great pick. They've done well in that department. Problem is, still can't run the fucking football. Their offensive line is not that good. And when you couple those two things against our freaking team, that's a recipe for disaster. They're going to come into that game on Monday night, and we are going to hand them their ass.
I think you overlook. I think you overlook the Cowboys just because of your pure hatred for Dallas, and I commend you for that. But
I don't see where like this offensive firepower is coming from. We literally have Dude, the tallest receiver is Mekhi Love. We don't have an explosive offense right now.
We don't.
Guys, you're looking at
We're
this the
gonna-
wrong way. You're thinking I'm just talking about the offense going out there and scoring 50 points. I'm looking at this from the fact that we are going to dominate games without having to dominate the fucking scoreboard. Okay? I'm talking about games that we will win 16-10, but it'll feel like 40-0. That's what
I've watched this.
about.
I've seen this
hate
movie
that style
before.
of
That was
football.
all last year.
That's all last year was. I hated
defense
that.
was spectacular, and we couldn't score points. And we got
Mhm.
nothing better. We just lost A.J. Brown. We gained a quarterback turned receiver. That's all we got.
Hey, respect
I
him.
understand.
Respect him.
Well, hey, weren't you trying to sell me on the 4 straight 1,000-yard season stuff? You don't get to walk that back now, Mason. Get out of here with that.
Wait, who's that? Who's that? Mekhi or Eli?
Oh, dude, if you don't like Stowers as a tight end pick, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Dude,
Because that guy can flat out
We
play.
did the draft show, didn't we? You know how I feel about
Dude,
Stowers.
I do not have trouble with the Stowers pick. I don't.
I have problems.
The only trouble I had with it was I still wanted the offensive tackle at that point over the tight end. But if
Yeah.
they valued tight end more, Stowers was the easy pick. Easy.
Definitely.
Eli Stowers is literally the equivalent of having a 74 overall receiver who's 6'3" with 93 speed and making him a tight end. He jumps 88.
You guys in your fucking
but he's
Madden
literally
ratings.
a receiver.
No, yeah, he's
literally a
right.
receiver.
He's right. He's a receiver that lines up. It's like Kyle Pitts.
I
Kyle
get
Pitts,
it.
But Kyle Pitts is stronger.
Yeah,
I
Kyle Pitts
get
is
it.
stronger. I agree.
I get it. But put that kid in this offense. I think you're underselling what Mannion's going to be able to do with this. I have confidence in that.
I can't put
So-
anything into it because I don't know. I just have to go like based off who's on paper.
I'm the same way. I
confidence
don't
in
know what
he's
the offense is going to look like. It's literally, like I said, it's Devontae Smith and the other guys, and then Dallas Goedert, who we all know is excellent, and Eli Stowers, who we know nothing about. So I don't know.
You're
I don't know
forgetting
what
someone.
Saquon,
Forgetting someone.
but
When
but
you
like
catch the ball.
at this point, yeah. Are we doing the Atlanta thing again, Mr. Barkley? Is that what we're
Hey.
the Atlanta incident?
Guys, you're not looking at the type of offense this guy's going to run. It's going to be the whole thing is going to be about whether or not Jalen Hurts buys in and executes. That's it. That's it. The offense will live and die on whether or not Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback this year. That's what's going to
Our
make the
offense will
difference.
live and die on whether or not Jalen Hurts can move the ball with the receiver room full of slot receivers.
No.
That would be
He
true.
does not get to fall back on it. I'm sorry. I am sorry. You're way off base here. I understand we don't have an AJ Brown. You were never going to replicate AJ Brown. Okay, so get it out of your heads.
You don't need
Just
to.
get it out of your heads.
This is like the Moneyball discussion, trying to replicate one
Right,
guy
it's
with
the same
with the
exact-
production
you can't
of
do
five.
it. What you have to do is scheme with the skill that you have, right?
Can we get a guy
And
who's over
that's
6
what we're
foot?
doing. So yeah, Suzanne
What
Gila
is-
Stowers.
What does he do? What does he do?
He gets
Well, he
on
doesn't
base.
block. I can do that.
That was fucking Jonah Hill.
No, but seriously, it's going to be about whether or not Jalen Hurts performs in this offense. He's not. Jalen Hurts is out of excuses at this point. He's out of them.
We
There's
agree
no
on that. We
excuses.
agree on that.
I understand that there's no big body receiver. I get it, but it's not like that receiver room is devoid of talent.
We don't have a body
Devontae
receiver.
Smith has been the most talented receiver on this roster the entire time he's been on the roster. He's just not 6'1", 225 pounds. That's the only problem. He is the most talented receiver on the roster. This kid, Lemon, who everyone's trying to sell me on him, so fine. 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's a great value pick at number 20. Cool. He's 5'11", 190 pounds. He's not exactly a midget, okay? He's not the smallest guy in the room either. No, we don't have a 6'3" wide receiver. I would have preferred, you know my stance, I would have preferred that kid, what was it, Darnell Boston. I liked the size. 6'3",
Denzel,
215.
Yeah.
That's who I wanted, Denzel Boston. But Lemon,
How
everybody and their
explosive-
grandmother thought Lemon was going to be off the board before pick 20.
How explosive can an offense be if it's 3 Julian Edelmans?
Oh,
Julian
dude, you're not.
Edelman that's crazy.
So yeah,
No, I'm
that's
just
a
saying, like, I'm
bad
saying
take,
type.
dude.
No, type of receiver. I'm not saying that.
And it's still a
Julian
bad
Smith is
take.
Julian Edelman, but I'm saying like you're gonna be lining up with 3 slot receivers. You can't just have those guys run slot routes. Okay.
No, that's
Malachi
not
Lemon,
the
Malachi
intent.
Lemon is
That's-
Malachi Lemon is
matchup
an
nightmare.
explosive receiver.
He is.
Watch his highlights. He's an explosive guy. You can line him up on the outside, and he's going to be just fine. Let Smitty work in the slot. That's okay.
Yeah.
Let
I don't-
Smitty work in the slot.
I
where he
think what
thrives.
you're gonna see a mix. They're gonna move him around, guys.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
not gonna be a defined. This is the X, this is the Y, and that's what we're going with. They're going
No,
to
call me
move them
crazy.
around.
So
Call me crazy. You could see Sowers or Goddard going into a receiver spot every now and then. You could get really creative.
Bingo!
And
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Like Eli Sowers, he's like, it's going to be, if we use him, it's the Kyle Pitts thing again, but hopefully we use him better than the Falcons utilize Kyle Pitts.
Well, so here's the problem with Kyle Pitts. He's a bitch.
Why? This isn't a Kyle Pitts discussion, though. I'm saying, like, if
you guys are the ones that keep bringing him up. This is the second time you guys have brought up Kyle Pitts, so I'm just going to tell you, Kyle Pitts has the reputation he has because he's a bitch.
It's the same
Well,
archetype of tight end. He's a big. Exactly. They just hate him. But it's the same.
They don't hate him. Atlanta has been allergic to good quarterbacks since Matt Ryan left. That's
not his fault.
Again, yeah, they hate him because they bring in Kirk O'Chains and Michael Penix.
I get it. He's a bitch. Yeah,
but okay, back to what I was attempting to say before my father decided to just shit on Kyle Pitts. Unprovoked.
You keep bringing him up, I'm going to keep shitting on him.
Because I'm saying it's the same archetype of player, kind of lanky tight end who probably should be playing receiver, but he plays tight end. So they're gonna move him around a lot. Maybe he goes in the slot and it's Smitty and Lemon or Smitty and one of the other guys on the outside because we have 18 decent receivers. So I think you're gonna see a lot of
I'm
mixing
going to assign homework to both of you children.
Damn it! It's the weekend.
I want you both because neither of you pay any attention to college football. I want you to go and watch all of the Vanderbilt that you possibly can over the next week. And I want you to come back and tell me what you really think of Eli Stowers. Keep in mind, Diego Pavia is 5'9" in fucking stilts.
I hate it.
And that was his quarterback last year. Eli Stowers is the number one reason why that Vanderbilt offense had its biggest season in the history of its school. He's the reason. Pavia gets all the flowers because he's the quarterback. That's just the way it works, right? Coach and quarterback always get the flowers. I got it. Eli Stowers won the award for the top tight end in college football last year, and he did that playing on an SEC team. This is not some kid who was playing in the MAC against fucking toilet bowl defenses. He's up against the nation's elite week in and week out at Vanderbilt and still did what he did.
His parents made him
go
go
watch the games.
Bro could have 99 speed. It does not change the fact that he's tight end number 2 on a team.
Yes, he's tight end number 2.
Your 5th receiver is making $10 million. Okay?
I don't agree. No, actually, you talking about Wicks?
Well, I'm saying I think Elijah's making 10. Hollywood's making 10.
No, Hollywood's contract is a max of 6.5.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, Dontavius Wicks is 12.5. That's the one that bothers me.
So I think
Hollywood's contract is a max of 6.5.
The reason they're all getting paid like decently is because I think they're all going to have about the same production. I'm going to be honest. I think you see
Hollywood's contract is completely dependent on incentives. Hollywood's contract goes up to 6.5. He's got to hit incentives to get there. Yeah.
So I think all three of those guys are going to have 400 to 600 yards, and then Smitty has 800 to 1,000, and I think that's what the breakdown looks like.
You're probably I wouldn't disagree with that. I think you guys see him get a little bit more, but I just think that there's so many receivers that you need to pass the ball to that you're really not going to have a lot of ability to go into 12 personnel. because you're taking a lot of money off of the field there, and so that just adds to the kind of questionable personnel decisions on offense. Listen, I'm not saying we have to have Megatron and Randy Moss, okay? I'm just saying we need to have a guy who's over 6 foot who can add a couple of matchup and strategic wrinkles and variations. That's all. I'm not saying. I'm not
So-
asking for the world here.
So is
I
Smitty?
think that's
Smitty?
Grady. I
Smitty
think that's
six.
a massive undersell on Smitty. I think this is Smitty's coming out party.
I'm the
This year.
biggest
Yeah,
Smitty
I
fan
see
in this
that.
room,
Yeah.
most
I
likely.
think
Okay,
Smitty's going to have the most yards on the team. He's going to have.
No,
I
forget
think that
most yards on the team. I think this is his coming out party. I think this is 1,200 yards and 8 to 10 touchdowns.
I think his ceiling is 1,100 yards, but that's me. I see like 800 to 1,100, either of those, because he's a little guy, stature wise. Like he's like me. He's a skinny guy. So I think a guy you put out there a guy like that, and he's expected to take this big workload. He's going to get banged around a lot, and there's a chance he gets hurt, and that's why his production might take a hit.
And everyone says that
yeah.
every single season, and it doesn't happen, dude. It just
Because he's never had to
Smitty
take the
is
workload of
smart.
number one wide receiver.
Well,
That's
it's not
true.
just that. It's because he's also incredibly intelligent about how he catches, how he shields himself from hits. This is what separates him from pretty much every other wide receiver in football as far as a skill set standpoint. His route running, the way he contorts his body to avoid those massive hits. Nobody else is able to do that kind of shit, right? He is that level. He just isn't 200 pounds. That's the only problem. Again, we went way down a rabbit hole with the wide
I'm about to say,
receivers.
so Grady,
It kind of
Grady,
pisses me
you,
off, but
Grady, you had us losing to Dallas at home on the 26th. So you
Yeah.
have us being what? Is that 5-2 going into week 8?
Yes. Yeah, that's 5-2.
yeah, he's got that as our second loss.
Yeah, that's 2 of the 4 losses that I see happening.
Yeah, I think I have us at 7-2 going into the bye. I just don't think it's going to be Dallas. I think it'll be Washington who probably catches us sleeping a little bit, and then we're going to trample the Giants into the bye. I think best case scenario, you're 8-1 going into the bye. I think more realistically, you're 7-2. I think if the wheels really start to fall off, you could be 6-3.
Well,
Yeah, I
well
see
so
that.
that's going to be where Jalen Hurts comes into. This whole season hinges on him, and he's got a ton to prove this year.
So
This year,
the defense is going to help him tremendously.
he's good. So not only does he have an extreme, I get it, they're not big guys, but they're an incredibly talented wide receiver room. They are.
And
A very talented tight end room, and a very talented backfield, and still an incredibly talented offensive line, and an incredibly talented offensive line, and a defense that's going to give him more opportunities.
That's true.
He's also got no guaranteed money left on his contract after this season.
Right.
He either performs this year, or Mason, you and I have been on this about the early round quarterback pick next year.
He's going to get
If
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen doesn't perform this year, it might be a higher round pick than anybody wants to have a conversation about right now.
Oh no, who's coming out this year? Quarterback.
We can get to that another time. I'm not doing
Dante.
that tonight. Yeah, we're not doing the quarterbacks tonight, guys.
Okay.
That's a whole different rabbit hole.
I'm
So, for the most part,
everybody's.
everybody's either 7-2 or 8-1 going into the bye. Is that safe to say?
I'm 7-2. Yeah.
7-2.
Yeah,
Ready?
7-2.
7-2.
7-2.
I can see it. I don't mind that Washington loss, to be honest. Not that I ever want to lose, but I can see it. You're coming off what I think will be an emotional high after taking care of the
It's gonna be
Cowboys.
a short week. Relatively.
It's going to be a short week, and then you got to go to Washington, and I think that could be trouble. It has, and historically, it has been going to Washington like that. So now you go into the bye. Well, no, then you're going to go roll the Giants, right? And then you're going to go into the bye, and then you're going to come out of it at home against the Steelers. I happen to think the Steelers are going to start bottoming out. And I'm not saying that just because Tomlin's gone. I'm saying it because I think they have to as a franchise.
Oh no, yeah.
The more you stay mired in that mediocrity there, you're not getting worse, of course, but you're never going to get better. And I think they have to start bottoming out. They pay way too much to their defense
It's
in
crazy,
a league that's
bro.
predicated
It
on
is
offense.
Crazy.
Last year, they were tops in football going into the
They're
year at
burning
170.5. Last year, they were tops in football going into the season at $170.5 million to just their defense. I don't know what that number is this year. I can't imagine it's all that different considering Cam Hayward wanted a raise, which is insane to me. They're coming to Philly. I think that's a fucking disaster of a football game. I don't care who their quarterback is. I don't give a shit about DK Metcalf. I don't like the Steelers, and I think their wheels are going to be coming off their bus real quick this year.
Oh, yeah. I think this could be easily a 14-point victory. I mean, the thing about the bye week is you always have to assume that coming out of the bye week, we're getting guys off of injury. We're getting guys who are fresh, who are coming back from injury. You have a whole week. Hopefully, you're coming off of a win against the Giants. So you're 7-2. You're coming off the bye. You're getting guys back from injury. We're going to slaughter them. It's not even going to be close. I think it's going to be a 14-point victory. I think that I think if the biggest threat of this game, we said it about Carolina, it could be a potential trap game because it's a very, 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 very short week.
Yes,
okay, because 4 days later, you're playing in Dallas. So this could be a potential trap game. So that's the only reason why this game might be close. But kind of jump. I don't want to jump ahead for Grady.
So I'm going to tell you that I don't see this as we're not going to go into a trap situation twice with the same opponent looming in the following week. All right. So if it's going to be a trap game, looking at Dallas too much earlier, it's not going to happen again this time.
It depends on what happens.
Okay.
I don't know.
They just won't. Grady, where are you at with the Steelers game? I think that me and Mason are aligned. We think that game's a fucking shit show.
Oh yeah.
I just don't care about the Steelers, period. They have nothing that moves me. I could go on and on about the city of Pittsburgh and their sports, but I already hurt Chicago, so I think I'll leave this one alone.
Captain Depp's in the room. What's up, my friend? We've got America's newest defender in here with us.
Stop. But yeah, I mean, who is the Steelers quarterback? Is Aaron Rodgers still on their payroll?
Shane Falco.
Aaron Rodgers.
What's his name?
It's Steamin' Willie Beeman.
I mean, that's just perfect. Yeah, it's
Mason
like
Rudolph.
who did they just draft?
The kid from Penn State, Drew Aller.
Aller.
Oh yeah. Dad, you're not gonna like this. Drew Aller's gonna need a lot of time. They drafted a private quarterback in a team that's about to go into a rebuild.
Listen,
So he has a cannon of an arm and he's tall, and that's like all he's got going for him.
Grady knows this. You won't find a bigger Penn State fan. I will religiously watch every Saturday.
Go Green.
And as much as everyone wanted to kill James Franklin for underachieving in big games and big moments, top 10 team, top 10 opponents, we all know the story. Drew Aller was equally awful in those games. The kid has not proven to be he had one game, and it was in the playoff a couple of years ago against Oregon, where he was as advertised that one night, and we still lost the game. But he's a nice kid. He's a good kid. I just don't see it, dude. And Pittsburgh, my God, when you're spending that much money on your defense, you have no money to spend on offensive talent. So, I mean, I think they're still waiting for Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers will play this game all offseason because he doesn't want to do the OTAs. That's what's happening, right? And the Steelers can't come out and say, okay, here's your contract, but you don't have to show up because that goes against league rules and it sets a bad precedent. So they're just going to keep doing this fucking do-si-do until that's over, and then here comes Aaron Rodgers. He's just going to sashay back out onto the field. Right?
I'm so tired of Aaron Rodgers. I'm so tired of it.
Everyone's tired of Aaron Rodgers.
All right, we beat the Steelers. Can we move on?
Yeah,
I'm tired of
Dallas
talking
on
about
Thanksgiving. Then it's Dallas on Thanksgiving. I think this is a loss.
I think it's a loss too.
I do.
I think this is the win.
Yeah. See, and he just wants it because he can piss in his friend's face over it.
I really do. I forget his face. I want to piss on his lawn. It's his whole family I'm after, not just him.
He's
after-
after the whole family.
I'm after my buddy, his dad, and their stupid fat pet pig that they have. It's genuinely they have a pig at the house. His name's Oliver.
Wow.
Yeah, little tidbit.
I have it as a loss. I think by that point, because I have this as a loss because I have us kicking their ass earlier at home, right? Sometimes that split ends up being we win away and they win at us, and I get all that. I don't think it happens that way this year. I do think we split. I think the home team wins both, and I think Dallas returns the favor. I don't know if they beat the shit out of us, but this is their traditional Thanksgiving game, and provided all things are equal and everybody's healthy, we're coming on a very short week, and I don't like it on the road in that one with 3.5 days rest. I just don't like it. I think it's a bad spot for us.
Eagles by 1 million.
Yeah, so then we play the Cardinals. Does anybody really want to talk about that? Like, moving on.
Who are they starting at quarterback?
Well, Jacoby Brissett's holding out, so we don't know.
Jacoby Brissett. I don't know. Maybe Diego Pavia will end up being the starter there instead of the backup in Baltimore.
No.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, Cardinals moving on, right? We're not. Nobody's really worried about that.
Eagles by 1 million.
Right, Eagles by 1 million. Then we come home for the Colts.
Win.
Again, I think this is the soft spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can, especially if you can manage to get that game against Dallas. If you can win that game against Dallas, then you get the Cardinals and Colts after that. It's a softer spot in the schedule.
We're playing the Little Sisters of the Poor for 2 weeks.
Then we're going to
Bishop
come
Sycamore.
home. Then we're going to come home against the defending champion Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I have a loss.
Eagles by 1 million.
Eagles by 1 million. So no
Go
more
Bears.
Kenny Walker, but who was was it Pacheco that went there? Or
Jadavion Price. He was.
no, I'm talking about the running back.
They got running back.
Yeah.
They lost
Because my sweet prince went to the Chiefs. So
Yeah, Walker went to the Chiefs, and I can't remember who the hell. Seattle.
it just dawned on me that I'm going to be rooting for a Chiefs player to do well, and that doesn't sit well with me.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, look at my hoodie. His allegiances are.
They
I
said
don't
it's Jadarian Price and Zach Charbonnet.
So they don't
my-
have one. They didn't
get it
replace it. So now you got Sam Darnold back, and I get it. JSN is a problem. He's going to be a problem for anybody. And they still have Rashid, who can stretch the field against anybody.
Jake Bobo.
They have a tight
But
end.
they can't run without Kenny Walker. Like Charbonnet looked good as when they were a tandem, him and Walker.
Yeah, when Walker
I
when he
don't-
vultured all of Walker's touchdowns.
I don't know that. I mean, can you run the ball now with Charbonnet and this other cat? And it's still Sam Darnold back there, who I get had another nice season. But dude, even if you looked at that AFC Championship game or NFC Championship game, that was more about what the guys around him and the defense were doing than it was about him stepping. Was it the championship game or the division round? I forget. He was awful and got away with it because their defense just clobbered the opponent.
I think maybe you see a different Sam Darnold now, though, because he finally defeated the Ghosts and he got a ring. Maybe he's playing with more confidence.
And he might, and good for him. I think that might be I think that's going to be a pretty fun game to watch. I don't know that we come out victorious there, though.
Yeah, Seattle scares me not for their offense, but for their defense. This could be a defense.
I agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
We did
100%.
poach one of our corners,
I think this year, I don't know how many defensive battles we win. When it's dependent on the offense scoring points, I'm not sure how many games of those we win.
That's because you hate the receiver core. My thing is you're looking at the offense the wrong way. It's all on Jalen Hurts. All of it. It's all on Jalen Hurts. So if we're not able to win games offensively, it's going to be because Jalen isn't getting it done. That's it. It's that simple.
And if Jalen has a bad year, we're going to Wentz him. We're going to do the exact same thing we did to Carson Wentz.
That's exactly right.
100%.
Take a quarterback in the first or second round, and then do the same thing that was it 2020 where we were abysmal.
Well, but that was totally different. You had a Carson Wentz who was completely combative with the head coach and literally everyone around him. He was being a jerk off. I don't think you're going to see Jalen Hurts act like that.
No.
If Jalen Hurts loses his job, it'll be strictly because he's just not getting it done. Carson Wentz lost his job because he wasn't getting it done, but was his own worst enemy in the fact that he wasn't getting it done. All right. Refusing to listen to coaching. His head got too big. He had all this angst from the injuries and having to watch Nick Foles take his team to a Super Bowl victory. And he just never really recovered. He also never learned to get rid of the goddamn football. Okay?
We had the Barry Sanders syndrome.
And there is another guy in the league right now that nobody here in Cincinnati wants to hear about having the same exact problem. His name is Joe Burrow.
When he has the level of production that he has every year, I don't think it matters. Going to be honest.
Matter. It does because he keeps getting hurt. He keeps getting hurt.
In my mind, it'll matter when the Bengals put a defense on the field that can stop a wet fart. Like,
I don't disagree. But the defensive woes are not the reason he's getting hurt.
No, but I'm saying it doesn't. I'm not ready to have the discussion about it being the end of the Joe Burrow era in Cincinnati until they put a competent defense on the field. No, I know, but
no, I didn't say that. I said he's not learning. I said he's not learning. He's not learning to get rid of the football, which is why they are middle of the pack in offensive line spending, which is not bad, but they look horrible in blocking because that asshole is standing back there holding the ball too fucking long. Okay? He just is. And he's not nimble. It's not like this is Jalen Hurts who has a threat to run. Joe Burrow is not this athlete. He's
Joe's got some wheels.
Quarterback.
Joe's got some wheels on him.
No, he doesn't.
By the way,
he's got a
Joe Burrow has a lot of guaranteed money, and he's tied to Cincinnati to at least 29.
Yeah, well, and I can tell you that, dude, if they don't do something about him or what he feels are the problems, he's going to leave. Or he's going to start asking to be traded. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
I live here. I see it all the time. He's just slashing the tires. That's what's going to happen. All right, so then we are home against the Texans. So this is on Christmas Eve, which basically we talked about at the top of the show is another game that pisses me off. It's another short week. And the Texans come in with what is quite possibly the league's best pass rush. Right? Overall. They get after the quarterback probably better than anybody in the league.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. We're beating that ass.
It's just anchored by but therein lies the problem. So they're great at that, but what the hell else are they good at?
Nothing.
CJ Stroud has not been a good quarterback since his rookie season. They can't run the football. I like Nico Collins, but for crying out loud, they can't get anything going because Stroud's just not that good.
Tank Dell has no knees.
Tank Dell's
literally. He has that was the sidebar. That was one of the scariest injuries I've ever seen. That one where his knee literally went the other way. That was horrifying. I think, Dad, I was watching that game with you.
Yes. Yeah.
We were watching that. That was Christmas Day. Was that just his previous season? 2 years ago, Christmas Day, Netflix game against the Chiefs. Yes. I remember it vividly. And then they drive. Credit to him. I don't know how he held on to that football.
I don't know how the hell I think he held on to it. I think his body locked up from shock.
Yeah, but either way, incredible catch with all the pain he must have been feeling. But he makes the grab, and then you look on the replay, and his knee goes like this, like in. That's just
I am 100% with Russ on this one. I wish that Christmas Eve game was at 1 or 4 instead of 8:15.
Yeah, why can't we get one of the earlier slots? Because they have 3 games on that day, right? That's how they do it. They do 1 at 1, 1 at 4, 1 at 8.
On Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
You think of things?
Oh, I'm thinking of Christmas Day because that's the way it was last year. They had one going.
And Thanksgiving is 1, 4, and 8. I know that. Christmas Eve, I think Christmas Eve is Thursday Night Football. I think we're standalone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, we are. Yeah. Ugh. Then why is that game not at 4? I'm with that now.
Grady, I opened part of the show when we first started getting into the schedule. I'm like, dude, some of these things I love as a fan. You're right, but from a group standpoint, you're murdering my ability to get people together.
It's awful for you.
It's horrible.
At least that game isn't a big Division One, because if that was a Cowboys game, then you have no shot of getting people to come out for it.
I've got the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, which no shot.
And on Monday, right? And on Monday night.
And Monday night, which decreases the head count right off the jump.
Well, Monday night you can still get like some people. If that was a Christmas game, if they were both the holiday games, then you're watching that game from right behind you. So it's I would
lose. Well, I would lose my two biggest moneymakers easily. My two biggest moneymakers. But anyways, we did that earlier.
Yeah, and then the day after.
I think that Texans game has a chance to be brutal from the fact that I don't care what your offensive line looks like, they are gonna get after Jalen Hurts, dude. They are going to.
Yeah,
it's just what they do. It's what they do best, and they're the best in the league at it. That game has a chance to be pretty rough, dude. I think we win, but we might have to win that one ugly.
I disagree.
My perspective, I don't care. You know how I've just been this whole time. Eagles by 1,000,000, and then the day after that game, I'll be watching my defending champion New York Knicks on Christmas at noon. So that's the way Christmas is gonna go. It's Knicks in 6 this next series, by the way. If anyone is wondering,
buddy. Remember that's a sore subject for these folks.
I don't care.
Hey, virtual fist bump, kid.
Yeah.
All right. So after the Texans, we move to the 49ers. Now, Mason, I'm going to kick this to you after I say one quick piece. If this game was earlier in the year, I'd be much more worried. By this point in the season, the 49ers have proven to usually be decimated with injuries. I don't know if it's their training staff or whatever, but they are usually just a disaster by this point in the year. So I don't know that changes, considering it's been this way every single season. I don't like having to go to San Francisco, especially late in the year like that. I don't care for it. But I don't think this is a Frisco team. I don't like that Mike Evans is there either. I don't really know.
Team. My goodness.
And they are. I don't really know how I feel about this one, though. I'd feel a hell of a lot more confident if this was in Philly. I can tell you that.
So I have this as my 5th loss. This is how I get to 12 and 5 because I think we're going to.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me, bro.
I think we beat New York next year. I don't really like the injury argument just because I can say the same thing about Lane Johnson. If Lane Johnson falls to some point of the year,
you're talking about a couple of guys. I'm talking about the Niners roster really as a whole.
Right,
is usually decimated by that point.
And so I think we're assuming everything's perfect here, and we're assuming a Niners team. Listen, that NFC West is going to be insanely competitive.
Right.
So,
except for the Cardinals.
Except for the Cardinals. So you have the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Rams all vying for control at that point. We don't really know who's going to be out in front. We don't know who's going to be fighting for a wild card. But
I think the Rams are out in front.
From Seattle and the Niners, they're playing to win 100%. And we might be as well because, like I said earlier,
you think Dallas is going to be right on our ass?
Yeah, I think I have Dallas at 12 and 5, and I have us at 12 and 5, which means that those splits can be killer, and those Washington games become must wins.
Yep.
For divisional rankings.
That's fair.
And so we got to win that game. They got to win that game. I think that we're away. I think that we don't really know what's going to happen with injuries. I just don't like it that much, and I had this as a 5th loss. If we win this game, we're winning the division.
Yeah,
I think that's very well stated, Mason. Very well stated.
That's so late in the year that, like Mason said, both us and Dallas were going to have similar, if not the same, record by that point, and then it's just going to be week after week seeing who stays on top. I think it's actually going to make for it's going to be pretty fun because when was the last time the division was that competitive when everybody wasn't garbage, Yeah. So I think that's going to be super interesting. But I think that especially then we're going to be playing pretty charged up because we have to win that game. So I think, however, that one we do drop to we do drop that to San Francisco.
I don't like it. I don't like that game, dude. I really don't. I think
It's gonna be a bad game. It's gonna be a sloppy game.
Yeah, dude. I don't like it. I think it's an ugly football game too. You know what I mean?
No, I think
we lose, and I think it's a shitty looking game.
16 to 10.
Some filth like that. Yeah.
I think that Seattle, Houston, and the Niners, San Francisco. When I first saw this schedule, I saw two gauntlets. I saw at the very beginning you have Chicago, you have LA, and you might even have the Jags, who might give us a run for the money. So
they were 13-4 last year.
That's a very tough test. The middle part of that schedule is cupcake, relatively.
Soft.
Yep.
And then at the end of the year, you have a brutal gauntlet. Yes, we're majority at home, but it's against harder teams. You're going up against the defending Super Bowl champions. You're going up against Houston, who's going to have their defense might be humming at that point. And then you have the Niners, who are going to be in a death race with LA and Seattle. They might need that game more than we do. And then it all comes down to week 18.
Yeah,
If it comes down to week 18, we win the division because the Giants fucking stink.
Right.
Well, I think that week 18, we're going in there 11-5. I think Dallas is going to Washington the week 18, and they're probably going to be 11-5 too. So.
And then I think Washington would play their guys just so they have the chance to play spoiler. I think that's because at that point I think Washington's out of the playoff race.
But you'll see that on both teams, right? So basically I talked about this earlier too. You got the Giants who keep getting incrementally better via the draft, right? But it doesn't really reflect in their record because their schedule continues to be rough.
It's a brutal schedule.
A lot because they have to play us twice. We're in a championship window. Dallas kind of scratches at that every year, right? The assumed is that Washington is going to be better this year because Jaden Daniels should be healthy.
And Sonny Styles.
They're going to have to play the NFC West as well. And
Sonny Styles.
They're not quite there yet. You know what I mean? So what you'll see is what you should see is a Washington and New York team that may both be out of it. I think New York's out of it. I'm not so sure Washington's out of it. If they stay healthy, I think they're scratching at a playoff spot as well, or trying.
I don't know.
Either way,
that's such a big if.
And it is, but it's a big if for everybody at that point in the year.
They're going to be like the 8th seed. They're going to just.
What you're going to see is both of those teams, provided everything plays out. Yeah, the Cowboys and Eagles should be close, right? One game difference, same record, whatever. Late in the year like that, you're going to see the Giants and the Commodes play up in those games. Because you can't lay down when somebody else's shit is on the line, right? Unless it doesn't benefit you, like what the Chiefs did a couple years ago. Oh, they didn't start anybody. It's not their job to get somebody else in the playoffs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're already in and locked up and you can't move up or down, I can sit everybody. I don't care who it costs a playoff spot to. Win more games. Your problem, not mine. You're not going to see that from Washington and New York this year. They're not going to have that opportunity. They're going to be playing 1% trying to be spoiler on both ends.
Yeah, Washington's going to go ahead, Grady.
I think the Giants, as much as I don't like to admit it, but I kind of do, I like the Giants. I'm going to be honest. I like their team, the way it's structured. I like how they're building it. I like some of the players. What did they say? I like some of the players they've got.
Wow.
Oh,
I love it, Russ. That's excellent.
It's pretty solid.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon. I had to pull that one up. That was awesome.
So I like the Giants. I like Jackson Dart. I've been in love with Jackson Dart.
I know. That's why we did the combine 2 years ago. I know you were all.
Yeah. When we went to the combine, I was just like sitting there awestruck watching that guy throw a football. And then Malik Neighbors is a great receiver. Who's the other guy they drafted? Because they drafted another one.
I don't know about drafting another receiver, but they got Arvell Reese, and they got the tackle. So.
Oh yeah, my fault. Yeah, it was Arvell Reese. But I think that's gonna make him pretty dangerous. I don't. And then their pass rush, it's Dexter Lawrence not being there is pretty big, but their pass rush is still really good. Brian Burns is a great rusher. The rest of their team is the Giants aren't bad. I see them 6-7 wins, maybe 8.
Really? Have you seen their
Yeah.
schedule?
Call me crazy.
So their schedule is pretty much the same as ours, except for a couple of games where they play like a last place versus a first place thing, right? Other than that, it's against us twice, it's against the Cowboys twice, it's against Washington twice, it's against
They
the NFC
play like the
West.
Chiefs. It's crazy.
Because the Chiefs got buried last year when Mahomes went down.
I have the Giants max 5 wins. Max.
Really? I'm a lot higher on the Giants than most people.
You need to look at their schedule.
I looked at
Look at
it.
their schedule.
So here's what I will say. Even if they are only a 5-win team, I think they're a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say.
I was going to say that about Washington. I
think they're a giant pain.
As a playoff team, I think they are going to be the quintessential annoying team. Okay, so let's look at the NFC real quick.
The problem I have with Washington is their defense is 147 years old.
Bobby Wagner, the fact that he can still wake up in the morning and move is amazing to me.
Listen, Bobby Wagner gets a pass. Bobby Wagner can still go out and get 100. Yes, he does. He can still go out and get 100 tackles for any team in the league. Right.
He's 97 years old. Like you can hear his knees pop from the television.
That's that whole defense, dude. The Washington defense is just ancient, dude. It's terrible. So they're not getting any help there.
The thing about the NFC East, okay, so you're going to look at the West, you have 2 wildcard teams there. Then you look at the North, you have Chicago, you have Green Bay. One of those is going to be a wild card. And then you have us in Dallas. One of those is
Where do you have Detroit, sir?
Are
you forgetting about the Detroit Lions?
Detroit missed the playoffs last year. I mean, it's a competitive year, but they still missed.
Got it.
So do you not have Detroit winning if you don't have Detroit winning the division, then what?
No.
You have Green Bay over Detroit.
I think so, yeah.
That's not ridiculous.
That's going to be a big. I don't think it's a ridiculous take at all. I just don't think it's clear cut. Is all I would say. I think it's a little bit more competitive than that.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm not saying it's not competitive. I just said that you're going to have them taking up a lot of the wild card slots. It's going to be a very competitive division, and we don't really know what the Minnesotas will look like either. I'm not saying they're going to be competitive, but they're going to be
Minnesota's going to stink.
6, 7, 8, 9 wins maybe. But nonetheless, Washington's going to be a team that's
midget.
Washington's going to be one of those teams where they're not good enough to make the playoffs, but they're good enough to spoil playoff teams, and so that's why it's gonna be really annoying. And so
I think the whole year they're just gonna be like they're gonna lose a lot of games to good teams, but they're gonna keep it really close.
And I think you see the same from the Giants. I think the Giants are a pesky pain in the ass too. I heard when you were talking about their pass rush before, and I get it. Dexter Lawrence leaving it.
Came on Thibodeau too.
Well, it would be a problem for most teams, except for the fact that the Giants had a embarrassment of riches in that department, right? And they still have Abdul Carter, and they just drafted another linebacker.
Oh, I forgot about Abdul Carter.
Yeah, dude, like they're still getting after the quarterback, bro. Like that's not going to change.
They replaced a tackle with an edge.
Yeah,
but that's the league now, guys. Okay, it's quarterback. Protect the quarterback and get after the quarterback. It's quarterback, left tackle, and edge. That's what everyone values. Everyone looks at running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, corners, safeties as diamond dust.
I would rather have 2 really good defensive tackles than 2 really good edges.
And that's what the Eagles have. That's your perspective as a Philadelphia fan, because as long as the Eagles have been good, there's been that same sort of structure. Give or take.
But you even see it with the Birds, where Howie has adjusted to this, where he's got his tackles, but he's also focusing on the edge because he has to. You have to get after the quarterback.
If you ask any quarterback at any level of football, high school, college, or professional, and
they'd rather it come from the outside than come directly in their face.
Tell them they can't step up in the pocket, and they're shot.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there.
Even Tom Brady couldn't handle that shit. As was proven in both times against the Giants and when we beat them.
quarterbacks
But
need to be
it's
able
not-
to step up in the field, and so the Giants are going to get a lot of pressure on the edges, but they're going to be able to step up in the pocket.
It's not traditional anymore. Like we were just talking about, to have even one good defensive tackle, let alone two of them. Like we are in a we're very rich in the fact that we attack from all around the pocket.
Yes.
Like there's not.
Yeah.
It's not just
That's how
not
he
just
builds
the
a
sides.
team.
It's not just the
Trenches
sides
outward.
collapse and the guy can stretch and the guy can step up. It's collapsing around him completely. So if he wants to get out away from our pass rush, he has to roll. And then obviously, people aren't slow, so that guy's going to get caught. But not a lot of teams build from the middle anymore. It's
Yeah,
like
very
it's
true.
just edge, mid tackles that are just fat and get a
But
running back.
even we're built on edge pressure. Okay.
Yeah.
What have you heard me say 1,000 times? You give me Nolan Smith or a Jalix Hunt or somebody on the outside.
Yeah.
To get now Grenard will be one of those guys that gets that pressure and forces that quarterback to step up into what? The welcoming arms of the law firm of Carter and Davis, right? Like that's what I call it, the law firm of Carter and Davis. And it works, right? That's the way the defense is built. It's not built for the corner to be out there on an island for 5 or 6 seconds.
Right.
It's built to make that quarterback make a fast decision.
Yeah, I was very proud of the entire division in this year's draft. Usually you have one
everybody did
team
good.
that really falls in their face, but you have Dallas getting Caleb Downs, and then they get an edge rusher. We got Mekhi Lemon. Who is it? Washington got Sonny Styles, and then the Giants made out like bandits.
The Giants had an incredible draft.
They
really
stacked
did. So
up
did
on a
Jets.
position that maybe wasn't exactly in need, but I mean, look at us. You can never really have too many edges. So they're gonna have a sickening rotation, rotation.
All right,
And
so that's a
they're
good segment.
protecting
We've got to
Jackson.
we've kind of beaten the schedule to death here a bit, right? I think we all come to the same conclusion: 11-6, 12-5. Yeah.
Well, Grady,
so
said you said you had 13 or 14.
13. That's like the ceiling. Like that's if
he
games
thinks
like
13 is the high water mark.
Okay.
that's if games like the Niners game go our way, or like we sweep Dallas or Washington. If something like that has to happen.
He's got the same floor as us, Mason, but a lower ceiling, right? The way I look at it, I look at 11, 12 wins,
I have a wide range.
and I've got a higher ceiling. I think the high water mark is 15. The high
I agree
water
with
mark.
you. I think that the range
high
here
water
is-
mark.
I-
The high water mark.
No,
That's
I
you're
agree.
sweeping Dallas, right? You're sweeping the Giants. You're taking
Yeah.
the
You're
game.
sweeping the division.
You're taking the game in San Francisco. You're beating the Rams, right? All those things to happen to get to that 15. But that's the high
I
water
agree.
mark.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that the floor is 10-7. I get that pessimistic. I've
That's
seen
probably
how
the
bad
floor.
I've seen how bad Philly teams can get, especially with this roster. And so, I mean, once the wheels start falling off, it spirals. But I think that I think you're right. I can see 14, 15. I think the only losses come from either Chicago or the Rams, and then you have that Seahawks win.
I
Or
think we
Seahawks.
get vengeance against Chicago. Vengeance.
Yeah. I will
think
say
if
what you said, Mason, about the wheels falling off the bus. My fear is that the wheels don't start on the bus. Like we come out flat because we don't have an identity without AJ Brown. I feel like that could be a
Okay.
very big issue.
Well, hold on. So I want everyone to take a step back and breathe for a minute.
Okay.
We are one of many teams in the league who do not play any starters in the preseason. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what that does is it protects your health of your starters, of course. But what it also does is it makes your first month of the regular season your preseason. And if you look around the league, nobody knows what the fuck they are for the first month of the year. Okay? Just watch these games. It's not just us, guys. The Rams don't know what they are. Everyone has some struggles. That's why
Yeah.
you don't really like what you get through that first 4 to 5 weeks, figure out what you are, and then you lean into it, right? That's what happens. And
But
that's
I'm
what
sure
you're
you
going to see.
understand.
You're going to see that happen again this year. It's going to happen. All right. So what I don't want is I don't want the goddamn first month overreaction if we're 2-2.
So
I don't
Adam,
want to be
what's your
2-2.
floor?
My floor would be 10-7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my floor would be 10-7. And that would be if we do come, the first month is a 2-2 thing, and then Jalen just doesn't gel can't get the offense going. All right.
Yeah, Jalen just shits all over himself every year.
Yeah. Which I don't think is going to happen. Everyone here in this room, and you guys know I am a Jalen Hurts fan. The problem is this offseason, there's been a lot of damning stuff that's come out on him.
Got to keep the main thing.
Not the least of which is that article that happened while we were in Fort Meade to come see you.
That was pretty bad.
AIT. That was pretty bad. Mason, I remember texting you, hey, have you read this yet?
Yeah.
And it was a long read, dude. That article was not small.
Mentions the source is mentioned 50 times.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get it. And Mason and I went back and forth on that. I understand his point. I think he understands mine as well. Mason's point with the whole thing of being anonymous source was you don't want to screw yourself for future opportunities, right? You don't want to get out that you're a snitch, which I understand. My thing is, and Grady, I'm a little old school. If you can't put your name on it, then shut the fuck up.
Well, for me, the whole Jalen Hurts story is it's either right or it's not. And so if you're able to cross-reference and cross-examine, and you're able to see
couple it with AJ,
like, sure,
couple it with the AJ problems, and it paints that picture. I don't like it.
To me, I don't really care who says it if it's true. I only care if it's not true and who's trying to stir up shit that doesn't exist. That's where my issue comes in.
But
Captain Demps comes in with the statement of the night. 10-7 is fine if they're peaking at the end of the year.
That's a different. I do because it's like say you start off really slow because the start of the season is kind of rocky. You have that Chicago game, that Rams game.
The end of the year is, as Mason brought up, the end of the year is also rough.
I was getting there. It was like you start off rough. Maybe at one point you're under 500, like you're a game or two below 500 for a few weeks.
Philadelphia will burn.
I know, but hear me out here. Then you come into that middle section and you don't play exceptional, but you take care of business. And then at the end of the year, Jalen Hurts, like it just clicks and he remembers how to play football. And then you beat Seattle, you beat San Francisco. The team comes to life. That's where I see Cap coming from there. And if that happens, then I feel good at 10-7.
So I agree with Cap. I agree with Cap's statement. If you're peaking at the end of the year, Mason, I think you'll back me up on this, and all of you folks in the room, you Philadelphia guys, you're going to back me up on this too. If we stumble out of the gates and go below 500 at one point, Philadelphia will go berserk.
Dude,
and then what'll happen is, what'll happen is, Grady, your second point was if you don't look great at the soft spot but take care of business, everyone is going to start feeling like 2025 and 2023. And that goddamn Philadelphia sports media is going to wreck the team. And there will not be a hot streak at the end of the year because it'll be completely destroyed.
That city
I don't think I'm off. Guys, I don't think I'm off base there at all. I really don't.
Listen, if you're going into Carolina with a losing record, let's say you win Washington, you win Tennessee, you lose Chicago, you lose LA, and then you somehow lose Tennessee in London. Oh my God.
Jacksonville.
Don't freak out, dude.
Yeah,
I
feel like
Carolina.
Well, and then God forbid lose to the Panthers.
Yeah, I feel like
you're 2-4.
I feel like worst case scenario, you come in at 2-4 and you're literally limping. Like you're Nick's year fired.
I
think if you start 2-4, the wheels come off the bus, dude.
Next year
you lose to Dallas, you lose to Washington, and then even the Giants is a tough game.
Yeah. So, then that's where it gets really bad. But the thing is, if we're going to continue the trend that we've been taking, Jalen isn't the wonder. I think you're no.
So I give Andy back. So listen. I know I love Jalen Hurts, and I've gone back at Andy Bagley with this. What I will give him credit for, Andy, is that he has held true to that statement the entire time. He has not deferred from it. He praises Jalen when Jalen's done well, but he doesn't think he believes that Jalen is a product of the immense amount of talent around him rather than Jalen being that good. Right? That's where Andy's at with it.
I understand that, but
he's a kind of system quarterback.
I don't know you, Andy, but
Okay. We're gonna take the last few minutes here, and I'm gonna go right at Mason with what he just said. He's kind of a system quarterback.
What do you mean?
Listen to me very, very carefully. If he's a system quarterback, why has the offensive coordinator changed every single year since his freshman year of college, and he still continues to succeed?
Well, he's had a very talented roster around him.
You can't play both sides there. You're not allowed to play both sides.
You do not get to play both those sides. No.
Why not?
No. He's either a system quarterback or he's the system.
There's two decisions. So if you go the system quarterback argument, you can't give him credit at all. It's just he's doing good because of what's around him. Go ahead and look at his playoff stats and over his whole career and tell me that's a system thing. That's what I'm sitting on. If you say Jalen Hurts isn't Philadelphia's quarterback, if he's not the best quarterback we've had since Donovan McNabb, then you're outside your mind. I mean, it's
holistically sure, yeah.
But he's not,
yeah.
It's like his playoff stats. We both times we've gone to the Super Bowl, we've played Patrick Mahomes. He's outplayed Mahomes twice. Both games.
He's also outplayed him in the regular season.
Outplayed him in the regular season. Outplayed Joe Burrow in the regular season. Outplayed Lamar Jackson in the regular season. Outplayed Josh Allen in the regular season. It's like the same argument people try to put up with Jalen Brunson. Everyone's better than Jalen Hurts or Jalen Brunson until it's time to be better than Jalen Hurts or Jalen Brunson. Everyone's better until it's time to be better.
That's the fucking line of the goddamn night right there. Everyone's better than Jalen Hurts until it's time to be better than Jalen Hurts.
Obviously, so for example, going into the Buffalo game a few years ago, oh my God, Josh Allen's Jesus Christ. Nobody's better than Josh Allen. And then Jalen Hurts beats Josh Allen. Oh my God, Lamar Jackson's better than Jalen Hurts. No one's beating Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts beats Lamar Jackson. Oh my God, Joe Burrow is better than Jalen Hurts. No one's beating Joe Burrow. Jalen Hurts better than Joe Burrow. And then the same thing happened with Mahomes 3 times now.
Can I ask you a question?
I hope I have an answer.
Is there a difference between playing well and winning?
Yes. But when Jalen Hurts plays well, he wins.
Jalen Hurts is a great winner. But I don't think he plays that well.
Look at his stats.
Boys play nice while I grab another beer.
Okay, I'll try my best. So literally, I can just go back to the Super Bowl argument. The one where we beat the brakes off Kansas City. Jalen, that's the best I think Jalen Hurts has looked in his career.
That's the best I've ever seen a defense play too.
No,
yeah.
No, Grady. The best Jalen Hurts has ever looked in his career was the Super Bowl we lost to Kansas City.
That's a better argument actually. So the Super Bowl we lost against Kansas City. Just go ahead, look at that. Obviously, he's playing against, at the time, who was set consensus the best quarterback in the NFL.
Sure.
Like, nobody could hold a candle to Patrick Mahomes.
Listen. If we have a good field that game, Jalen Hurts has 2 rings.
I'm saying it's not even a good field. A good field, or I'm not trying to make excuses, but if he didn't fumble, maybe if the defense could get a stop in the second half.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the number one reason right there. No, I don't want to hear about the field. I don't want to hear about the refs.
Forget the field.
The Chiefs had 4 second half possessions. Those possessions went touchdown, 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 game-winning field goal. Get one fucking stop, and we win that football game.
Forget one stop. Hold one of those other touchdowns to a field goal.
Jonathan Gannon should have not even been allowed to get on the goddamn bus that night.
I was getting edits of Jonathan Gannon with Saddam Hussein that night. That's how bad it was.
Oh my God!
And he's allowed to say that because he now defends America. So
it's the same thing that happened like with Kevin Patullo. How it would be like traditional Arabic music, and then it would just be shots of Kevin Patullo. But like, we have a history of having coordinators who are just like genuine domestic terrorists. Like Jonathan Gannon in that Super Bowl. Oh my God. Both. I'm not even gonna say the one's name from 2023. He doesn't deserve to be mentioned.
I kind of want to go back to the very central point of the argument. We were talking about whether or not Jalen Hurts was really kind of that guy, and I said he's kind of a system quarterback, and I'll still kind of hold to that. And then you said your argument, which is what I would actually echo as my argument, which is no, you're 100% right. People are better than Jalen Hurts until they play Jalen Hurts, because we have a really good team, and he's really good at winning. But it's not like if you put Jalen Hurts next to Josh Allen, there's no way you're going to say you're going to take Jalen Hurts there. Just talent-wise and as a quarterback, you're going to take Josh Allen, right?
So your argument is we win games because Jalen Hurts plays well? That's any winning quarterback ever.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts.
The 49ers won games because Joe Montana played well.
Okay, and I don't think. I mean, we can have a separate discussion on Joe Montana, but
no, you get what I'm trying to say, though, right? It's your argument. Your argument is that
he's greatly elevated.
Yeah, well, I mean, every team obviously is going to win if their quarterback plays well. Every team's going to win. But Jalen Hurts, another thing. It's moments.
Well,
I mean, you know what I mean? For the most part, a competitive team. If a competitive team, the quarterback plays lights out, that team's probably going to win or they're going to get very close to winning.
Sure.
And then, yes. Just generally speaking, if you're playing incredibly well and the other team is playing okay, you're going to beat that team. Where was I going? Shit.
No worries.
Oh, where was I? Oh, man. Oh, I've soiled it.
Soiled it is crazy. No, you got it.
That's the SpongeBob scene.
The SpongeBob. No, so yeah, I don't disagree.
Oh, right. Yeah. So every team, of course, I'm back now. Jalen Hurts, he steps up in big moments. That's another thing. Two of his best performances are in the Super Bowl under the brightest lights against the best team in the league. The other best team in the league. The game against the Bills when at the end of the game we marched down the field like Jake Elliott hit that incredible game-winning field goal. The Ravens game where obviously that was on the legs of Saquon, but Jalen came up big in the moments where he had to. The Cincinnati game where Jalen Hurts with his arm lit up the Bengals. I was at that game, mind you. Where that teardrop touchdown, that beautiful touchdown to Smitty in the end zone right in front of me.
Well, hold on. So so I just want to butt in here. So a very common theme throughout our entire shows for the past months, actually, at this point, is that this year is supposed to be a big test for Jalen Hurts. Because for some reason, throughout all this success, there's still question marks about him. If all this success makes it a case closed thing, then why is this season such a big test?
Because it comes up again, new coordinator. Because obviously, if you have a coordinator that just calls 4 verticals, QB draw, and halfback draw every play, the quarterback isn't going to be able to show off his arm talent because there's not enough movement and play action. He can't show off his full range when you limit him with terrible play calling. And of course, you look at when Kellen Moore was calling plays, that wasn't an issue. Oh my goodness, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, best duo in football. Jalen Hurts looks legit. Everyone's like, oh my God, he's back. The guy's back. The next year, awful coordinator calling plays for a very talented player. The player looks like shit. And now this year coming up again. It's going to be. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. I apologize.
No, you're good. I'm cutting you off, actually.
But this year coming up again, can Jalen Hurts do it with a new coordinator again, like he has since was in his senior year of high school? Can he do it with a new coordinator?
Boys, play nice now. Play nice. So here's the problem with the coordinator argument. The problem is he needs a coordinator that is an authoritative figure.
We agree on that.
Somebody
We
who
agree on
does
that.
not allow the quarterback to dictate. All right.
Yeah.
Jalen needs to be reined in a little bit, and that's the test this year.
Real
That's
quick,
the
Grady.
test for Mannion. That's the test for Jalen.
Grady, your argument isn't that Jalen Hurts is a question mark. It's Sean Mannion who's a question mark. Because
They're
under
both a
that
question
theory,
mark.
as long as Sean Mannion is Kellen Moore, Jalen Hurts shouldn't be a question. Jalen Hurts should
Yeah.
just be 2024 Jalen Hurts, and we win the Super Bowl again. So why is the
Captain
question
Debs,
mark
bang.
on Jalen Hurts?
You should win the game when you're leading 24-10 at halftime.
I mean, obviously, yeah, we spoke about that. Just get a stop, dude. Make the team punt. The first half, you had them dialed defensively. You had them dialed defensively.
So, Grady, I kind of want your response to that. So, if your argument is essentially that the question mark isn't on Hurts, it's actually on Mannion. Because as long as Mannion's good, then Hurts is automatically going to be good. So then why is the question mark still on Hurts?
The question mark Jalen Hurts because obviously the media is going to paint a picture that
because last year was a struggle bus. That's why.
Yeah, you look at the
was a full-on 5-alarm disaster.
The media is going to look at the team
because he's got no guaranteed money left on his contract.
We agree on that. We definitely agree on that. There's a reason why all these things are
Jalen Hurts could have thrown for 4,500 yards and 50 touchdowns last year, but he's got no guaranteed money left. So no matter what, it is a prove it year. No matter what,
because
it doesn't matter. Because he's got to prove it for his longevity. That's why.
And Mason, my response to what you were saying, if you look at hello everyone. If you look at like what God, that threw me off.
Grady, everybody loves you, buddy.
I'm gathering. And I love when Jalen Hurts plays productive football. So you look at obviously the Colin Cowherds, the Skip Baylesses, they're all going to look at. Obviously, they're not going to look at the offensive coordinator because nobody wants to read headlines about an offensive coordinator. They're going to want to hear Jalen Hurts sucks. They're going to want to hear Jalen Hurts sucks. They're not going to want to hear Sean Mannion isn't a good offensive play caller. They don't care about that. Jalen Hurts is, if he's limited again, it's more than likely going to be the same issue as last year. And with Brian Johnson, that he can't, he's not playing well because the scheme is like high school level. You know, it's going to be where we're winning games based off talent alone again, and that's not enough.
But the argument isn't our Philadelphia fans question Jalen Hurts because the media question Jalen Hurts. We're questioning Jalen Hurts because there's obviously where there's smoke, there's fire.
Why are you questioning?
No. He's not wrong, Grady. Where there's smoke, there is always some fire. But I will tell you that Philadelphia sports media does dictate the mentality. It does dictate the mentality of the city. It does.
Yeah,
I'm going
to say it's not just the Philadelphia sports media. It's not just the Philadelphia sports media in this situation. It's the NFL sports media. It's American sports media hating Jalen Hurts because he's not the flashiest guy. He just goes out there, he gets the job done, and he wins the football game.
So I think
you're looking at it.
I think
you're looking at it because he doesn't fit their intangibles. He's not a gaudy athlete like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson.
One at a time. Grady, let Mason.
I'm sorry. I'm
okay.
My bad.
Hey, dude, it's okay. Hey, look, you know what? It's passion, and it's awesome. Okay.
A little bit of a delay.
What's going on right now is fantastic. Okay.
I'll do this to myself.
Let's have a little yin and yang. All right. Everybody gets the floor. Right?
So I think that the argument's being missed here. Okay. So my argument is that there's a reason why going into this year, there's a big question around Jalen Hurts. We're loading the offense up. We got a West Coast offensive coordinator who's going to bring a more West Coast system. We're giving him a lot of toys in the wide receiver room. Whether or not they might all be Nissans doesn't matter, but whatever.
That's good.
We have Damian Pierce. We have Eli Stowers. We got a third-round tight end or tackle who's going to be a Hall of Famer, hopefully. We upgraded on defense as well. But this whole off season, me and Adam me and your dad, whatever, have talked about this. This is the year for Jalen Hurts. But there's a reason why this year is the year for Jalen Hurts. There's a reason for that. And it almost seems
because his contract is about up.
Yep.
His contract's
It's
about up,
That's
not-
the
but
number one reason.
if Jalen Hurts is this perennial guy who, everyone is better than Jalen Hurts until they verse Jalen Hurts. Okay,
Yeah.
I conceded that, but that's only because that's true. Because Jalen Hurts is better at winning than those quarterbacks are. That doesn't mean that he's better than them. It just means that he's better at winning those games. There's a big difference.
But
Football is a team sport.
There's
This is
one
basketball,
stat
right?
that, Mason, what's the most important stat?
It's winning. And
Defense
Jalen Hurts
rest.
wins better than anyone.
And-
Yeah.
and I don't have
Matt
another
Castle won, 11 games?
Ah,
in-
get out of here with Matt Castle. I don't want to hear about Matt. You know what? They went 11-5, and what else did they do? They missed the fucking playoffs
Somehow. That's a
because
crazy year.
the games they did lose were against teams that cost them that shot at the playoffs. Where Jalen Hurts doesn't lose those games. Grady, go ahead.
You go ahead. You have to talk
If you want to look at, obviously you're saying, yes, he's winning games. He's winning these games because he's playing better in the big spots than these other guys are. Is he better as an overall quarterback? No. You can be a worse overall quarterback and play better in the big moments, and that's what Jalen Hurts is. That's what I'm trying to get at. In the moments where he needs to step up, where we need, like again, I'm going to go back to the Super Bowl thing. We need Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl. He's going to rip off a 40-yard touchdown to Devontae Smith because we need him. It's that.
I'll do you one better. There's a couple of years, 2023, which was a struggle bus year, where the wheels came off. There were warning signs early that we were going to have trouble late. Nobody really picked up on it because we were still winning football games. One of those games was against Buffalo. And we go to overtime against Buffalo. And it's Jalen Hurts that runs that game-winning touchdown in. And it's Brandon Graham the entire overtime. It's just over there. You don't know Jalen like I know Jalen. You don't know Jalen like I know Jalen. And sure as shit, Jalen Hurts delivers. And who was that against, by the way? So what I seem to remember is I remember Josh Allen, who completely who had a wide open receiver and just botched the throw. Or that game's over.
I remember
right?
that. I remember
He
that.
airmails it, or Buffalo wins that football game. And so they kick the field goal on the ensuing possession. Here comes Jalen in the birds, and it's Hurts that runs through the end zone and just sticks his arms out like this.
Another one. This is kind of dad.
That is Jalen Hurts. That's
my next point.
He's not flashy, guys. He's never going to be a 4,000, 4,500 yard passer.
Hold on.
He's never going to be 40 touchdowns. What he is a fucking winner.
We're sorry. Okay, so wait, what do you think my argument is?
Your argument is that, I mean, yes, I'm kind of, okay, we are kind of agreeing. Okay, because I was saying that Jalen Hurts is the Adam Schwartz referee shirt. I was saying that.
I'm letting you agree with me now.
Lou, I'm letting the kids battle it out here. Sometimes as a dad, you have to let the children fight it out.
You kind of sound like you guys agree with me now.
Well, hang on here. What you tried to say was system. And what I told you was...
kind of, yeah.
No. What I told you was Jalen Hurts has had a different coordinator every single year since his freshman year of college.
Correct. Yep.
So at what point is it more about Jalen being a winner than it is about the system?
Right? Yep, exactly.
If he's got a different coordinator every year and still wins football games, when is it that Jalen is the system?
Exactly.
And you have to fight. Like, look, there's no quarterback in the league that can win a ton of football games with a shitty coaching staff. It just won't happen. It just will not happen. Nobody overcomes that on a consistent basis. Even the years where we had bad coordinators. Last year, 2023, still had a winning record, still made the goddamn playoffs.
Unless I'm misunderstanding something, you're making my argument for me. You're saying that
I think
Jalen
you're way off base, Mason.
Hold on, let me rephrase it, and then you can kind of clarify where necessary. So, yes, he's had a different coordinator, and that's obviously something that's very hard to deal with as a quarterback, 100%. And I mean, you've seen the graph. I have the whole Excel sheet with all the quarterbacks, and you have the hot years, you have the cold years, you have the hot years, you have the cold years. Doesn't that kind of
all
reflect
stats driven?
Doesn't that kind of reflect that once you have certain system plugged in, he's really hot, and then when you have other system plugged in, he's really cold? He's not this universal guy.
But
What it doesn't take
so
into
the
account
difference-
is the one stat that matters: victories.
He's a great
so there's-
winner. I
yes,
conceded that.
But that's the one that matters.
You can play
That's
bad and still win, though.
It's him over the victories are him leading an offense to overcome shit play calling.
Let me go
That
in for the
has
kill
happened
here.
consistently.
About that.
Let me go in for the kill here. If you look at the years, if you look at the
22, we got to
literally
the- we got to the
using
Super
your
Bowl in
stat,
22 because of defense.
using your he almost won MVP that year. Using your stat argument,
Isn't that the year we had
Yeah,
63
that's a bad
sacks?
thing.
if Jalen Hurts didn't get hurt, he is the MVP of the NFL that season.
Yeah, dude, trying to say that
22?
we got 22 Jalen Hurts. 22 Jalen Hurts was the MVP of the league if he doesn't miss 2 games to injury.
Dude, we
Yeah,
almost
22,
broke
20,
we almost
22,
broke the, we
and he
broke
gets
the
hurt,
record
he
in
turned
sacks
into
that year.
Chicago.
Defense was lights out.
Mason, you're misunderstanding. Nobody's doubting what the defense did, but what Jalen Hurts did that year was MVP level play.
So
I'm
let me
not
If
denying-
he does
I'm
not
not
get hurt,
den-
and brother, you can rely on your spreadsheet all you want. It's
No,
false
that's not
in
the
that
argument.
situation.
No, my only argument is that
2022 Jalen Hurts. 2022 Jalen Hurts, if he plays the entire season, is the MVP of the league, and I don't even think it's a close vote. It's not even a close vote.
It's
And
not,
then he
but-
backs it up. Then he backs it up by outplaying Mahomes in the Super Bowl, albeit in a loss.
Thank you.
I can
let's look at-
concede all of that. My point still stands.
All right, let me kind of
you Eagles are-
With what? That we were successful only because of the defense? Jalen Hurts
I
was
didn't,
the MVP.
hold on. I don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say
You're saying that he's relying on the defense. You're saying that we were so good that year because of our
Yeah,
defense. That's literally what you said.
2022,
No,
that was
you
not.
guys are saying
accurate,
Jalen Hurts
bro.
as if he's the only catalyst to all of our success. I'm saying that we had a legendarily record-breaking defense that year. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
we weren't the 85 Bears, okay? We weren't taking
No.
what was that guy's
Well, nobody's the 85 Bears.
I
Nobody's the 85 Bears. Nobody's the 2000 Ravens.
right,
No-
right.
nobody-
And no one's the
Nobody's
2013
nobody's
Seahawks.
those guys.
Right.
Those
So
those
I'm
teams
not
have
saying that.
separated themselves from everybody else.
I'm not saying it was a defense only year. But what I'm saying is that when you win a Super Bowl, it's not because your quarterback alone did well. And he can have a MVP year, sure. You know who also had an MVP year? You don't want me to say his name, so I won't say it because if he plays that full year, he's gonna win MVP. His QBR was ahead of Tom Brady's that year. But so I'm sympathetic to the MVP argument.
He's
but
using the ones.
this
Okay.
isn't a singular season thing. This is a holistic thing. I don't dislike.
No, but
Jalen
you
Hurts.
brought up
I'm
2022,
just saying
brother.
that he's,
You did.
You
I
said 2022. We didn't.
I said, but
You went there and
22
played
because I
on
was
your
going
court.
over the hot and cold. I'm saying because the hot and cold. That's it. That's it.
Okay, let me just
you're not
take
wrong.
this one.
And
I've been
you're-
dying
and you're
for a
absolutely-
few minutes here.
You are absolutely, hang on, Grady. You're absolutely not wrong. There has been a lot of hot and cold, but there's also been a lot of overcoming bad coaching to win that amount of football games, even on a cold season. And
Obviously,
a lot of
if
that
you-
credit has to go to Jalen Hurts. What can't happen is we can't praise Jalen for huge seasons and then shit on him when we have not so huge seasons, right?
I
You're
don't.
Thank
still
you.
winning football games. You're
Yeah,
still
I
winning
don't do
football
that.
games. And we all know that Brian Johnson was a disaster and Kevin Patullo was a disaster. And we all know that Nick Sirianni should probably never be allowed to hire another offensive coordinator as long as he fucking lives, right? These are all true
Yeah.
statements.
Yes.
What's
but
also
let
true
me-
What's also true is even in those bad seasons, we were still a playoff team in
So,
large
yeah.
part due to Jalen overcoming
Thank
bad
you.
coaching.
I want
Thank
to
you.
rebut Adam real quick. So I don't actually disagree because you said you can't give Hurts the credit when he wins and then also kind of soften it when he loses. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that Jalen Hurts does really well when he has an MVP season, right? And he has the defense to support him to go all the way there. And then as equivalent of a team failure around Jalen Hurts is when you have a year like 2023. Right? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is what led to 23. I'm also not saying that Jalen Hurts is what led to 22. That's not my argument. My argument is that he's great at winning. But football is the least from an individual player, right? And so, like, I don't think that my argument's like that far off here.
No, I
Let me
think
see.
I think we're talking same things from two different sides of the coin. I really do. I think overall we're getting at the same thing here.
May I give a
I
closing
think
argument before I
what
explode?
kicked this whole thing off was, when we talked about system, right, and whether or not Jalen is the system because of the fact that he's had a different coordinator pretty much every single year of his life.
The only
right?
quarterback that is the system is Tom Brady. He's
Yeah,
malleable. He's
so let me-
universal. He's good.
May I-
at
may I-
all
Look,
things.
okay, so time out. Tom Brady is a completely different animal. All
What do
right,
you- okay,
that
so hold on,
guy,
I'm gonna blow
that guy has 7 Super Bowl rings, dude. He's
I
got
agree.
more
I
Super
agree.
Bowl rings than any team in the league. It's disgusting.
When you say that Jalen Hurts is the system, what do you mean exactly by that?
Okay, so can I get in here? Can I finally get in here?
I was going to take it, but you go right ahead, kid.
Fucking kill shot coming up. All right, so you take a guy every year that has a different coordinator with a different style. You look at 2022. I forget the dude's name who was the coordinator. If somebody could fill me in on that.
Steichen.
Yeah,
Shane Steichen.
Yeah, Shane Steichen. There we go.
Steichen,
Oh yeah,
Shane Steichen.
I'm an idiot. Okay. 2022, Shane Steichen, Jalen Hurts is phenomenal because Shane Steichen understands Jalen Hurts and he can call plays around his ability. 2023, you have Brian Johnson, who's a brain dead idiot. I was going to use a different word, but I don't know if I can say that here. And then
let's keep it PC.
Brian Johnson doesn't try to build plays around Jalen Hurts. He tries to put Jalen Hurts into plays that were already there, like
There's
what
the difference.
Doug
I
Peterson
agree.
tried to do to Carson Wentz.
Exactly.
No.
And then
The Carson Wentz thing is totally different, dude. Carson Wentz refused to listen to coaching at all.
Oh,
And then you go to 2024. You go to 2024, and you have Kellen Moore, who once again understands Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, designs plays around Jalen Hurts. You build plays around the system. Jalen Hurts is the system because you're making the playbook around him. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But there's another wrinkle to that, Grady. It's not just about designing the plays. Mason and I have agreed on that from day one when him and I started talking and doing this. And that goes for any quarterback. A coordinator has to come in, and not just the quarterback, has to devise an offense that fits the skill set of the guys on the roster. Not come in and say, this is my offense, let me pigeonhole you fuckers into it. That's not how it works, okay? And Kellen Moore understood that, and Shane Steichen knew what to do with that. Here's the other wrinkle to it, though. Jalen Hurts needs an authoritative figure, someone he respects, okay?
Yep.
The problem we had with Brian Johnson and the problem we had with Kevin Patullo, not just because they were inept, but the fact that they never really asserted themselves as an authoritative figure, whereas Shane Steichen was no fucking nonsense, right? He was same thing under Nick Sirianni, and it was fine. But Shane Steichen took over that role because Nick's play calling was shit, right? He took over that role halfway through 2021, and that 2021 Eagles team had no business making the playoffs. But they did because, in large part, Shane Steichen understood that Jalen needed a growth pattern, and he played into it. Mason, just 1 minute.
I got you.
Just 1 minute. Flash forward to Kellen Moore, same thing. Kellen Moore, when he comes to be our offensive coordinator, had already been on a lot of teams' radar as a potential head coach candidate. All right?
Very true.
He came in with a lot of clout and a lot of authority, and he was not going to let a quarterback tell him what was going to happen. Kellen Moore sat down with these guys. This is the way it's going to be. You're going to trust me to devise this plan around what you guys do well. And it worked. And that is the other wrinkle to what needs to happen and what I expect from Sean Mannion coming in from outside the Eagles organization. I believe you're going to see that replicated. Only this time, you're going to see an offense that is not only built around what the guys do well, but an offense also devised to help what Jalen doesn't do well, which we all know is reading crossing routes in the middle of the field.
So you just made my closing argument for me. So if we're going to go back to ESPN article, that's where you're getting the authoritative argument from, and I agree. This is something that we talked about on that show when it came out.
Yeah, it's the absolute truth.
The truth is that when you have authoritative figures when you have an authoritative coordinator who tells Jalen, no, Jalen, you're wrong. This is the system, and you're playing in it. He does better. But when you have coordinators who Jalen Hurts says, you know what, I'm going to be my own system. I'm going to be my own guy, and I'm going to call hot routes. I'm going to tell receivers what to do. The offense falls flat on its face. We saw that in 23. We saw that in 25. This is what happens in that article. When he has a liberty to be the guy, to be the quarterback, to be the Josh Allen, he falls on his face. But when he has a structure where he says, okay, no, you're putting your blinders on, the bumpers on the alley are up. Okay, you have this little bit of freedom, but this is the structure. He shines and he grows because
some of it is Jalen also understands, and this is a mark of a good leader and a good person overall.
I agree.
Understanding what your limitations are. And Jalen knows what his limitations are. So his combativeness is a lot of I have to read. Kevin Patullo's offense was shit. It was 100% predicated on the receiver winning their matchup. And what does that do? That puts a ton of pressure on the receivers, first and foremost. Mm-hmm. But it also, when it becomes the crossing routes where Jalen knows that he's not great at it, he's got to read that. And he knows he's not good at it. So he pushes back on it and calls audibles, and then Patullo just backs down. Right? Whereas Kellen Moore didn't. But Kellen Moore also devised offensive scheme that helped Jalen where Jalen struggles, which does what? It builds his own fucking confidence, right?
And if
you're now hitting throws that you were usually struggling with, your confidence grows, you feel better about it, and you trust the guy that's calling the goddamn play.
And if you notice with Kellen Moore,
one at a time, guys.
Go ahead.
All right, with Kellen Moore, Jalen Hurts was obviously still making adjustments, but with Brian Johnson and the other fuckwit, I don't like saying both of their names. I don't like saying both of their names at the same time. I feel like as if I'm damning myself. But I feel like I have to hold a crucifix if I say both their names in the same sentence.
Captain Dance with another line of the night. How do you react when your boss is an unqualified boob?
Yeah, that's accurate. But so with Kellen Moore, Jalen Hurts was still making these adjustments, but he had certain adjustments to make. He's like, all right, you're in this situation and you see this, you do this or this. With Brian Johnson, he's just like, I don't understand how to call plays. You go out there and you just call Madden hot routes.
The confidence in his boss, as Cap just alluded to with the unqualified boob thing, the confidence in his boss at that point wasn't there. I don't trust you to put me in a position to succeed. So why the hell am I going to listen to you?
So he has to make his own adjustments to an already garbage scheme.
I want to throw in a quick note that in that same article, it does also know. I don't know if you guys want to try. I'm not gonna say that. In that same article, it also states that a lot of the adjustments and changes that Kellen Moore made, Jalen Hurts was not receptive to it. In fact, he was on the attitude of, okay, if this doesn't work, 3 out of the 2 times we try this, I'm going rogue. I'm going Maverick. Okay, I'm gonna have a very short patience with these changes because I'm just doing them because you're here. And if they don't work out every single time, I'm gonna flip out.
And then what happened? The bye week happened, and everybody got together, and everybody sang "Kumbaya" or made fucking s'mores or whatever the hell they did. But they all got on the same page, and Jalen Hurts learned to have confidence in his coordinator. That's what happened. And I expect that same result this year.
So, so going back to the central point of the hour and a half extra debate content.
Am I allowed to go get a fucking beer and take a piss? I can trust you guys not to kill each other.
It's starting to weigh on me. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up.
No, but I think that Okay, so I would be lying if I said that my initial statement wasn't a little bit provocative.
Yeah,
Whenever you say Jalen Hurts is assistant quarterback, I know it's going to trigger a lot of people.
you
That's
were clip
partially why I did
farming
it.
right there.
A little bit, but I do think that there's a kernel of truth to that, and I think that when you see the up and downs and the different polarities in coordinating structures that he's been under, listen, the Eagles have had a certain floor in terms of success. That's not only solely because of Jalen, because it's not only solely because of Jalen when we won a Super Bowl. It's a lot of different things. It's also a lot of different things when we don't do well. The defense suffers. The offense just doesn't come together. Okay, so when it's like every other quarterback. He's not exceptional in this way. He's not an exception to the rule. The rule is every single player has a certain system that they're going to succeed in. If they're not in that system or that system does not adjust to them, it is not going to work. If it does, then it will work. The only exceptions to these rules are the obvious ones, like Manning, like Brady. Okay, I'm not, it's not whatever to say that Hurts is different than Brady. What I'm saying is that Hurts is a very static-ish quarterback when it comes to when he succeeds and when he doesn't. That's all I'm
Right.
saying. He's not this universal guy.
Like what the fuck is this guy's problem? 18 years of that.
So I think that's my central point of my argument. Like I don't put Jalen Hurts in the upper echelon of like elite tiers of quarterback. I don't. I think he's probably in tier 2, maybe tier 3. He's not that kind of a guy, but he still wins, and that's all that matters. He's a tier 1 winner.
Okay. I mean, that I agree with you. I agree with you to an extent. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is my pride and joy, and he's probably my second favorite athlete right now.
Carson Wentz was that for me, so I'll defend Carson to my deathbed. So
Was that my mother in the back? Oh, it is. Okay, it is. But yeah, Jalen Hurts is my second favorite athlete behind another man named Jalen who plays basketball in New York. And with both of those guys, I feel like it's kind of similar. They were both undervalued in college, and then when they finally get drafted later than I think they think that they should have, and then they sit for a year, or in Brunson's case, a few years, and then they finally get their opportunity and they light the world on fire.
Sure.
I really do admire that, and I kind of just went down the rabbit hole of doom, professing my love to Jalen Hurts, but I'm gonna support Jalen until he's not on the team anymore. So like you said with Carson Wentz. If it gets in like a Wentz style scenario, even though I know Jalen's more headstrong than Wentz, so it won't get to that. But we're gonna get to a situation at some point where Jalen Hurts is the where Jalen Hurts is the focal point of why we're not winning games, of why the team's faltering, and then I'm still going to stand by him until he's not on the team anymore. That is my quarterback, and until, like I said, he's not there anymore, he's going to be the reason we win. He's going to be the reason we lose.
Yeah, and I've never once said in this show that Jalen Hurts is the sole reason why X and he's the sole reason why Z. I'm not that kind of a guy. What the type of guy who I am, though, is someone who says, okay, the type of off season that we've had is an experiment. Okay, we are isolating the variables. We are isolating the dependent variable in Hurts and the independent variable of everyone else. So we can find out what Jalen Hurts is. That's why we are doing this, because despite all of the winning, despite all the success, despite all of the stats and the throws and the playing, for some reason we still have question marks about Jalen Hurts. Okay, and I don't think that they're wrong question marks. We're right to have these question marks. And we're right to have these question marks because Jalen Hurts has been kind of shielded. He's been insulated from direct, absolute credit for all the team's successes and all the team's losses. There's been things in the way that are blocking that. So that is why we are isolating Jalen Hurts to find out, okay, this is the year where he's the only guy who we can say, okay, he's the only one who's like in common now.
Mhm.
My whole argument is that because we are doing that means that Jalen Hurts, to some extent, is a system quarterback, and system quarterback has this really negative connotation. That's not true. Okay, some of the greatest
Okay.
quarterbacks are system quarterbacks. Okay,
Can I have an example?
Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Joe Montana
Yeah.
had
All right. So I see. Put
the
it.
entire West Coast offense was built around Joe Montana, and then you have
So-
Steve Young come in,
Yeah.
and it.
Dude, that's a very, very, very good argument right there.
So
Joe
as a slight,
Montana, that West Coast offense was devised around Joe Montana's lack of arm strength.
But
as a
like,
slight-
100%.
but
as
he
a
was
slight
deadly
rebuttal to
accurate.
that-
Same thing with Steve Young.
As a slight rebuttal to that, yes, but but yeah, as a slight rebuttal to
From
that,
left field, there he is.
Go ahead.
obviously, you know, God, why do I keep getting sidetracked. Jalen, fuck.
You need to take notes. You need to write these things down.
All right, so
What do you-
okay,
what-
hang on. Let me shift gears here. We've been at this for a while, beating up Jalen, praising Jalen, back and forth, blah blah. It started off as a scheduling show, and
Oh, no,
it
I
just
remember
went off the
that.
rails. So,
Okay, what's up?
what if he's not the only one who has a prove it year, even though there's still guaranteed money on this guy's contract?
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith. Thank you very much.
So okay, so
I don't know about
Devontae Smith
that.
rips
I
off
don't know
that
about that.
1,300
I
yard
think it's a
season you were
fair
talking
fucking
about.
statement, dude. Now they're linked, right? Devontae's dependent on Jalen getting him the ball. They're linked. But I think it's a fair statement to say that now Devontae's going to be the number one. And and Quimby and I have praised Devontae Smith. You can call it to a fault if you want to.
Right.
But we've been at this for a number of years now. And this is the year. Like, it's time, right? We saw, so I'm going to use a comparison here. We saw Jackson Smith and Jigba last season when, who's the freak? DK Metcalf. When Metcalf went to Pittsburgh.
Oh, right, yeah.
And now JSN and Lockett's gone. And now JSN
Yes.
has to be the guy, and he explodes.
He's incredible.
He was a great player.
With a quarterback who, let's be honest, not like anybody's looking at Sam Darnold like he's Joe Montana.
Some would say he's a system quarterback.
Some might.
I remember my system quarterback argument.
The fact still remains that Jackson Smith and Jigba blew up when that top dog left.
Okay.
Is it a fair statement to say that this is not a make or break?
Yes and no. Yes and
But
no.
should we be looking at this year as this is now time? This is now time for Devontae to step it up.
Only if you see Devontae Smith as the inevitable number one. I don't.
What?
I
do.
think that Devontae Smith is the best that he's ever going to be when he's number two. I think he shines when he's a number two.
Yeah.
So you don't think he possesses the ability to be a number one?
I looked at him and AJ as 1 and 1A.
In terms of talent,
I really
sure,
do.
but I don't know if
In
you
terms of
design
talent,
offense
Smith was
around
always number
Smith the
one.
way you did around AJ. I don't think so.
No, they're two completely
AJ
different types of receivers.
AJ gets
No.
away with a lot of shit. AJ rounds off. Look, I love AJ Brown. Mason, you know, I am not an advocate of trading him. I'm just not. But they're
No,
going to
you've
do
been
it.
very consistent.
I've been very consistent with that. I was not an advocate. You're in your championship window. You can't replicate that size and speed and all that. You just can't, right? But what AJ doesn't do is he doesn't run the most crisp routes in the fucking league, right? He has an attitude problem. This is now his second team that he's bitched his way off of, okay? First one, Tennessee for money. This one for catches and yards and touchdowns, whatever you want to call it, right? He's proven to be a diva wide receiver, your typical prototype diva wide receiver. Twice now.
Correct.
Devontae Smith is none of those things. Devontae Smith is the silent Slim Reaper, dude. And
I didn't say he wasn't, by the way.
I have a sneaky suspicion that provided now look, like I said, they're dependent on each other. Jalen's got to get him the ball, and the offense has to work well under Mannion. But those things happen, and that's why I said what I said a while ago. I think you're looking at 1,200 yards and 8 to 10 touchdowns from Devontae.
I don't expect Devontae. I don't expect Devontae to be number one. I don't. That's just me. I'm very comfortable with him being number two. I am.
Do you see Hollywood Brown becoming the one?
No. I think what Mason's trying to say is I think what Mason's trying to say is I think what Mason's trying to say is with AJ leaving, and Mason, you correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but I think what you're getting at is I think he's saying that with AJ leaving, that there is no true number one on the Philadelphia Eagles, that there is a plethora of very talented wide receivers where it's a shared commodity.
I would. That's my point. I'm clear from my point exactly.
Yeah, and let's give Captain Demps a little credit here. He did call this out earlier. I said all that stuff earlier about Montana, Young, and Aikman.
Oh, Aikman is a perfect example of a system quarterback. He's perfect. He's beautiful. But
another guy that was a winner.
Yeah, yes, he's great at
winning.
winning.
The only problem I have with comparing guys now to then, obviously the rules and the league changes and all that.
His era, yeah.
But that was pre-salary cap, where the owners with all the money could just hog all the talent.
Not that you could genuinely build like a world breaker team around one guy.
Oh yes, the Cowboys too, dude. Yes, the
Cowboys weren't they in the mid to late 90s?
Yeah, 92, 93, that team was built up, was their high water mark. They win again in 95, but that was still the carryover from that same team. And the 92-93 team were pre-salary cap.
And they spent so much money for the time, so much money on that team. That offensive line specifically.
Are you really? I thought it was 92.
94.
Well, you're gonna. So my argument around Devontae Smith isn't that there's yes, I've made a joke multiple times that there's 10 slot receivers on this roster. Devontae Smith is clearly the best one. I'm not gonna make that argument.
That's a horrible take on Devontae Smith, Andy. Which one? We've all had our takes on Devontae. Which one is it?
Yeah.
Which one are you calling out?
I think the parallel that you said between the Seahawks and the Eagles is actually super duper accurate right now. DK Metcalf, AJ Brown is DK Metcalf in this situation. Toxic, really talented, big frame, fast, strong receiver who's now getting off the team. And JSN is like, I think, the same archetype of receiver as Smitty is. Not the strongest guy, but he's tall. He's long, and he runs really quick routes. Okay, he's tall.
He's taller.
He's bigger than Devontae.
But what I'm getting at is he runs big. He runs good routes. He's just that crispy, like Justin Jefferson kind of style, where he'll kill you on a corner route, and then he has all the open field in front of him to take off. It's the exact same. It's the exact same situation. Literally one of one. And I think if Jalen Hurts plays even half as productive as Sam Darnold did, Devontae Smith is going to
explode.
Devontae Smith is like what Dad said.
Okay, so
he's going to have 1,200, 1,300 yards.
This is maybe a better framing of my argument. Devontae Smith is an
there's your answer. He's number one, and it will be just fine.
All right.
I think Devontae Smith is a scalpel.
Hang on, hey, Grady, let Mason.
I think that Devontae Smith is a fantastic scalpel. I do not think he's an axe.
All right, Grady, you got to go. Is that what you're saying?
I got things to do.
Okay, kid. Hey, Grady, thank you for being here, bud.
Pleasure.
We're gonna do this more often if you'd like to come on here. Okay.
Oh, for sure. This was great. I'd love to do this again.
All right, excellent.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Young man, take care.
Thank you. Good night, all. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so that's my son. In case you or anyone else had a question of whose son that was,
Yeah.
it kind of fits. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
so-
can be. He's basically 18-year-old me, so he's very boisterous, very loud. Doesn't really know when to raise his hand and not cut people off. It's a little bit of a, but he's very passionate. So
No, very. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think that Devontae Smith is an excellent scalpel. I don't think he's an axe. I think that's the difference.
I get it. I understand. I just have I feel a little differently. I feel that Devontae is more than skilled enough to be the number one wide receiver on this team.
Yeah.
But I
have no
do
question
agree.
about
I
it.
do agree with you in the fact that I think it depends on the style of offense, right? I don't like if we
More so
lose
for Hurts and
AJ.
Smith.
So if you go to the 2025 offense and Devontae's your number one, I think you're fucked. Okay, because it was just too basic.
25? Yeah.
The-
Okay.
Yeah, last year's offense,
Yeah.
and that's your offensive scheme. I think Devontae is just. I think it's a disaster, right?
Mhm.
Because AJ can win those. That whole offense was built on the wide receiver absolutely winning their one-on-one, right?
Mhm.
Just
Yes.
no question about it. If you have the right offense, much to your point about predicated on skill set, like we've both talked about, what do these guys do well, and how do I put them in the best situation to succeed? I full on believe that as long as Jalen Hurts does what he's supposed to do, I think you're looking at now. Look, I'm not going to say that Devontae Smith is going to be on a 2,000 yard, 15 touchdown pace. That's
No.
insane, right? Which is what Jackson Smith and Jigba was on for a while.
Yeah. He's
But
not
do
there.
I think 1,200, 1,300, and 8 to 10 touchdowns is out of the realm of possibility? No, I don't think
it's
that at all.
optimistic. I think it's optimistic.
It's optimistic, but I don't think it's
Listen,
irresponsible.
With the
I
rest
think
of the
it's better.
weapons,
I think it's better than cautiously optimistic. Is what I'll say with it.
considering the other cars in the garage, I think he's going to get the most mileage.
Well, yeah, he's going to be the number one wide receiver. I mean,
Yeah, I'm like, Mekhi Lemon's not going to take that much away from him. Hollywood
not
Brown's
as a
not
rookie.
going to take
You
that
might
much.
see it year two.
But well, we're talking about this year. So like, Mekhi's not taking that much away from him. Hollywood Brown's not going to take that much away from him. So I think that Smith's floor should be 1,000 realistically. I think if
I
you're
agree.
if you're a number one receiver on a team like this, you have to hit 1,000 at least.
And Smitty's done that even with AJ there.
Yeah.
Smitty's
think
done
he's
that
better-
even with AJ and Saquon having a big year.
I
Like,
just think that he's a lot better when he's a number two. When you have a guy like the beauty of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith was it was hot and cold, right? It was yin and yang.
So one thing I will tell you, Grady loves Philadelphia Eagles football. I raised him that way. I tried to keep him reined into the same teams that I love. He left me with baseball. He left me with college football and college basketball. But he stuck with me with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he stuck with me with the New York Knicks. And I will tell you, above all other teams, the New York Knicks are far and away his favorite. The kid loves the NBA. It's his favorite sport, and the Knicks are his favorite team. And he is as passionate about that as I am now with Philadelphia Eagles football. So, like, the kid, and you can see it, right? Like, you can see the passion in him. He's that kid.
I would love to like debate him in person. I mean, this was fantastic. And
Oh,
it's
he's
been
a
while
he's a
since I've
little much.
debated like this.
His only issue is he's so young that he's
I was the
wickedly
exact same.
well. He's so young that he's wickedly impulsive, and so he just starts flying off, and then his words he stumbles over him because he gets too far out. And then you saw it a couple of times tonight where he's like, "Shit, I lost my place." Like
He just has to debate more. That's what I kind of got through that just through debating more. And so the more you debate, the more you kind of learn the structuring, you learn the flow, you learn how to go back and forth. And so I think the more debates that he has, or the more debates that we do, I think that's a skill that he'll kind of develop. Because I was the exact same. I was the exact same. I was just a
Yeah.
fire hose, and you just like you gotta control yourself.
All right. So we've been at this for almost 3 hours. So we're going to wrap this up. Now, I'm going to ask you final thoughts. But here's the deal. Final thoughts doesn't mean recap of what we talked about. It's your final thought. Okay? It doesn't even have to be what we've talked about.
Sure.
No need to recap. These guys have been here with us for the entire 3 hours. And when I tell everyone that the Green Legion radio audience is easily the best audience on the planet, this is what I'm talking about. These guys are here. Lou Dominguez down in Miami's with us. Keenan, Lou Mancini, Russ Taylor, Andy Bagley. These guys are with us all the time. Dev Fritz from out here, he comes in. They all know what we've been talking about, right? The debating was awesome. I was able to step away. You have no idea how much I love that luxury. Being able to just step away and let you guys just go at it was awesome. Come back in every now and again, like a dad. Like, yeah, hey guys, let's cool it. But when I say final thoughts each week, Mason, it's not to recap the show. It's what your final thought is. So the show was supposed to be about the schedule. Then I invited my son, and we went down this rabbit hole with receivers and Jalen Hurts. So whether you want to take it, your final thought with Hurts, Devontae, the schedule, whatever that is, it's your final thought. Doesn't have to deal with anything we've already talked about.
My final thought is, it was, first of all, it was fantastic meeting Grady. It was a shame that it could have been in person. I would have loved to have met him in person.
We'll get that opportunity.
But nonetheless, though, thank him for his service, of course, and extraordinary. I kind of like the recap kind of structure. I will zoom through it though because I don't want to do that to you. I'm looking at 12-5, floor 10-7. I think the most optimistic is 15-2. Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback, and Devontae Smith is number 2.
So as far as the schedule goes, I think you and I are on the same page. I think the floor is 10-7. And now, look, this is all things being equal where people are healthy and all this shit, right?
Yes.
Like, if key players get injured, I don't know, knock on wood. Yeah, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Jalen Hurts, whatever we'll knock on wood again. Then all bets are off. But all things being equal, yeah, you and I are on the same page. 10-7 being the floor, 11-6, 12-5 being pretty much what the expectation, I guess, would be the right term. And then the high water mark, 15-2, 14-3, somewhere in that area. I do not like that Rams game. I do not like the San Francisco game late like that. I don't like them. I preface that Frisco game with the fact that they are usually pretty banged up. For whatever reason, they tend to have more injury trouble than a lot of good teams. And they play in a very brutal division. I still don't like it. Those two games in particular, I don't care for it. I really don't like that Rams game. And I've been on that, I've been on that with the whole McDuffie and AJ out thing. Yep. I just don't like it. I think it puts us in a spot where it has to be another Saquon legacy game. You know what I mean? And we'll see with Mannion.
It's a lot.
And it's also in the first month of the season where you're still trying to figure it out because you didn't fucking play all preseason long. So, and the difference with us and the Rams at that point is the Rams haven't had a whole lot of turnover at the coaching positions or at their key positions or at their key spots. Whereas we are going to face that new offensive coordinator, new number 1 wide receiver. It can be a problem. I believe that every good system needs a talented quarterback. And I believe Jalen Hurts is that quarterback, and I think that's proven itself out in the fact that we've still won games even with inept coaching. We can give the quarterback all the flowers we want, but when you're winning games, even when we know the coaching is inept, I think that's when the quarterback deserves the most flowers. That's my stance on it. With the defense, of course, as well. We all know Fangio's worked fucking miracles. But I'm ready for the season. I will tell you, we are already in talks to have a huge charity event in August this year out here. Some of you guys remember last season, True Strength Awareness, founded by Jordan Hicks, who is from this area. We did when we played Dallas and blew the lead in the second half. We did the event that day. We had a 200 and some odd person turnout, massive donations, all kinds of shit. It was great. We're going to do this before the season this year, and we're not going to limit it to just Eagle fans. I am actively talking to the leaders of other fan groups in this area: Browns, Steelers, Patriots, Bengals, Packers, trying to make it all inclusive to not just pigeonhole ourselves into one thing. So if anybody's interested in that, I will have a QR code at some point for you to donate to that donation if you wanted to. But we're really looking forward to that. So that's about all I got, man. It's been 3 hours. I'm about done. I'm going to go finish drinking all of my beer. Watch my daughter.
I was surprised that it went that long. I was asking, hey, if we're going to keep going,
Well,
keep going.
when you get passionate and you keep going, it's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think it was devoid of. It's not like it was 3 hours and there was a whole bunch of dead time. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
It was 3 hours
was
of just
action-packed.
constant. Yeah, constant. And kudos to you and Gritty for that. So
anytime.
with that, that's all I got.
Yeah.
We'll be back at it again next week. This is when we're going to start to hit some dead time. Content becomes thin. Obviously, over the next couple of weeks, the AJ Brown stuff is going to resurface back to the forefront of Philadelphia Eagle talk, because that June 1st date is 2 weeks away. So we're going to be back at that. Unfortunately, I think you and I both are pretty worn out on it.
I don't think we ever talked about it before.
Dude, when I did that draft show at the back porch, dude, 3 of the people that came, including my own son, Liam, they want to talk about AJ Brown. I'm like, God damn it, dude. I've had enough. But you got to give people the floor. But so that'll come back up into the forefront. Probably starting next week. I would imagine those talks start to get hot and heavy again. I am slightly concerned about where he's going to get dealt to at this point, because I don't know how great the standing is with Vrabel and New England at this point with all the bullshit.
Well,
I think that's definitely something to talk about next week, though. Yeah. So we're going to get out of here, guys. Andy Bagley says, hush, it's baseball. Hurts will pull this team down, and I see this team winning maybe 10 games. Well, you know what, sir? We will revisit that again next week and try to break down a little bit more of the schedule. Maybe we drill in a little bit further on a couple of the key games on that schedule, right? Your Dallas matchups, which are going to be, obviously at the forefront. As far as division play goes, the Rams game. How does that match up now with AJ going to be gone and McDuffie coming in? Seattle, San Francisco, teams that are going to be our biggest competitors for that NFC crown. Maybe we start focusing on those games. The Bears come into that mix as well, unfortunately, because I hate their quarterback. So until next week, folks, this has been UnHappy in the MP. Hope you've enjoyed the last 3 hours. That was a lot. Come on back again next week. Until then, enjoy your weekend. Like I always say, don't do anything we wouldn't do. Remember that Judge is not back until Monday, which is why I don't drive. And as always, folks,
go Birds.
Go Birds.